What the dog doing?
He needs some milk.
They either taste one or two things first. Milk or urine.
Give him hot milk, give him hot milk, give him hot milk.
Do the right thing.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
It's like milk. Yummy, 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 yummy.
You do currently have a California driver's license, you just don't have a physical copy on you at the moment.
That's my preferred method of identification.
And this is?
It's a cat collar. I'm currently identifying as a cat.
Fair enough. The information here on the tag, I'm assuming belongs to you, the boyfriend?
Yeah. That's so rude. I hope you know I'm recording.
Well, it wasn't my intention to offend you, but he just identified as a cat, and you're wearing a Harriet's Waltz t-shirt, so forgive me if I came to a conclusion that you guys are involved in some sort of a homosexual arrangement.
I'm not mad that you think we're together, but you're using gendered language. Besides, I'm not his boyfriend, I'm his owner.
Okay. Well, look, we can do this the hard way if you'd like. I can have this car towed, because last I checked, a cat is not licensed to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. We can have animal control come get you, take you to a shelter where your owner can retrieve you for a fee of $70 after you're given the necessary immunizations, which do include a rabies shot, possibly even spayed or neuter, whichever you prefer or identify with. Is that what you guys want to do here?
What should we do? I don't know. I don't have $70.
Sir, I can also request that a mental health care professional come down here on scene and do an evaluation of you because you're considering letting him take a rabies shot rather than just give me an ID, use some manners so I can give you your ticket and move along.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
You mutt-sucking sons of a bitch. You understand?
E show tonight. Good one. Porn star quizmaster watches three smoking hot porn stars get totally naked and tell us their sexy lesbo stories, and they flunk an IQ test, and the fun doesn't end there. Remember you were doing the news yesterday, and there was a guy in the news some gay dude who started Miss Gay Universe, and he's upset because Donald Trump said, look, don't use the name Miss Gay Universe because I spent a fortune buying Miss Universe and developing it and creating it.
We played a tape of the guy.
Yeah, he's on the phone because he heard me talking about him, but I do really agree with Donald Trump, Ben.
Well, we can tell him why he should just give up the name.
Ben.
Yeah.
So here's my thought.
Okay.
Donald Trump buys Miss Universe, pays, I don't know, millions of dollars for it.
He did?
Oh, yeah.
And the people who created Miss Universe in the first place did a lot of work to create that franchise.
That's right.
So you come along
so did Bolivia with Miss Universe. So did a lot of other companies that use the Universe name.
Oh, wait a second. The reason you're calling your event Miss Gay Universe is because Miss Universe is well known already. Why not come up with an original name where you don't sort of...
Like Miss Galaxy?
Okay.
Think about it. Sounds like a Jetson comic strip.
Yeah, but why are you using the name Miss Universe? It's because you like the idea that everyone knows it already, but the guy spent a fortune developing it.
He didn't spend a fortune.
He spent a fortune.
No, he didn't.
Millions, which you haven't spent a dime.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what entitles you to take the name Miss Gay Universe?
It entitles me to take the name Miss Gay and then do whatever I want with it in Universe. That's why there's a Miss Gay America, there's a Miss Gay US of A, there's a Miss Continental. It's out there for anyone to take. He doesn't own the Universe.
No, he owns the... Why not Miss Pretty Lesbian? What is your event, by the way? What is your name again?
Ben Coons.
Ben, but what's your
Lauren Fox.
All right, Lauren. What? You call yourself Lauren Fox?
Mm-hmm.
When
you're dressed as a woman.
When I'm dressed, yeah, when I'm doing drag.
So Lauren, it's a bunch of dudes getting together and dressing up as women. Yep. Why not call it the Miss Transvestite? Why not call it Miss Transvestite?
I got the name. Because transvestite is the clinical term for usually straight men dressing up.
I'm saying you're taking the guy's trademark, Miss Universe, and trading off it. You don't see that?
Miss Galaxy.
Yeah, Miss.
And the first time his ratings were good was this past year.
That's how hard he's worked.
Awful.
Yeah, well, he spent a lot of money. Was in the hole for a while, and now he's starting to make some money with it.
But we've been working on this for the past 3 years. This isn't just something we just did out of, like, the blue.
Yeah, but, dude, he doesn't want to... You haven't paid for the name Miss Universe. All right, ma'am. All right, ma'am.
How about...
that? Oh, that's so much better. Can you pass me my French fries? All right, go ahead.
How about Miss Fag?
Lauren, Hey, come on. What's the matter with you?
Sorry.
Why do you have to go there?
I'm sorry.
Why
did you have to go there? I don't mind that, I listened to your show this morning, which was pretty good.
Thank you.
And the gay stuff is fine, but the fag, I don't like fag.
Come on, you have to call a guy a fag.
I'm a little upset at myself, too.
You could say homo.
Yeah, Miss Homo's better.
No, because...
Almost, there, it sounds more like a milk. There you go, the milk commercial again.
But seriously, why not Miss... I mean, make up a whole new name that you own and that's yours. It's like... I understand why the guy...
Honestly, he would still try to fight it. And the whole thing is we're not the first to do this. We're just the first to go further than anybody else.
Now, if you had said, okay, let's say you had a radio show, you call it Gay Howard Stern Show. Yeah. Because Howard Stern's the name that I've spent time... Everyone will tune in.
Howard Stern is a name that is a given name.
Yeah, but so is Miss Universe.
No.
It's a name he bought. He could have just started any beauty pageant. He had to buy the Miss Universe name.
Right, and also
and
the Miss
didn't.
Miss America, which Miss US of A, which he owns.
Lauren, can I make a point?
Sure.
You said that Miss Galaxy sounds like a Jetsons thing, right?
Right.
If Miss Universe pageant didn't exist, Miss Universe would sound the same way.
Exactly.
He took it and made it something special.
He didn't take it to make it something special.
Somebody else did.
Somebody did.
And then
Somebody did. You're right.
And he paid for the right to use it. You haven't paid for the right to use it.
It's no different than anybody else using or trying to develop a business and stuff like that.
Off of his business.
It isn't off of his
Sure
business.
it is. That's why you're saying Miss Gay Universe, because you like the parody of Miss Universe.
It isn't a parody.
That sinks you into a worse hole. The fact that it isn't a parody. It's you're taking the name Miss Universe and trading off of it.
Wow.
You are. Come on, be honest. I mean, the reason you like the name, the name Miss Gay Universe is because you're trading off the name Miss Universe.
So
you won't admit that.
When we did all this, you really think that I thought we would start getting letters from Donald Trump's attorneys?
Yes.
But we do
Well, you're
think
very
that
wrong
you
on
thought
that.
about Miss Universe and said we'll call ourselves Miss Gay Universe.
We said we will do the Miss Universe because we have seen that people have tried it before.
The reason you're getting letters from Donald Trump, let me explain it to you. Maybe you're insignificant, and maybe you're just a pimple on Donald Trump's ass, but if he lets you get away with it, that means the next guy gets away with it, or the next transvestite gets away with it.
Yeah, how about
then
when they do
tell me what's the difference?
Why don't you put it on TV?
Then what's the difference between, isn't this what you were saying about this morning about
Let me give you an example.
America and that
let me
you're
give you an
allowed to
example.
do...
I called my book Miss America, my second book, because my father used to always say, oh, here comes Miss America.
Right.
Now, I'm not doing a beauty pageant like the Miss America. If I was doing a beauty pageant and called it Miss America...
But still, Miss America got a little upset.
And Miss America even got upset, and they looked at it, and they said, well, we're going to decide not to go after him because he's not doing a beauty pageant. I'm calling myself Miss America. It's not a rip-off of...
But I don't think we're ripping off.
Yeah, you are. In other words, call it any other name. Let's come up with a name.
But then what about Miss Nude Universe? Why was that allowed to go through?
I don't know. That probably shouldn't have been.
But then that's my big question is like, okay,
because
that's
sometimes
fine.
people go after something, and sometimes they don't.
I think maybe Miss Nude Universe already existed when Donald
it didn't.
bought the company.
No, they were ahead of us by 2 months, and their whole process and the whole situation was...
I just get why the guy's upset. And I got to tell you, I understand it, and I think you ought to develop something of your own. I think you ought to come. I mean, it's easy enough to come up with a name.
As soon as you say pageant, everybody knows what you're up to. So why do you need Miss Universe?
Yeah, say
Because I think it's a good way of the ranking of with the female impersonators and the drag queens. If we have Miss America, we have Miss US of A, we have Miss Continental. There is nothing that takes it above that. And I'm not going to call it Miss Galaxy. I'm not going to call it Miss International.
Miss World.
Call it Miss International.
Miss World is already out there. They're trying to get their trademark done with it. And
right.
They will also
don't you understand? Imagine you start Miss International. And then you pump millions of dollars into it, and by some freaky way, it becomes the biggest thing on the planet. Then some douchebag comes along and goes, I'll call myself Miss International. And then you go, you know what, the guy's ripping me off. Come on, get with it.
And that's the way the American policy works.
No, it doesn't work that way.
But you know what, as I read your book, which I thought was great,
Thank you.
The thing is you started out the same way, and the whole thing is fighting.
No, I didn't. I never took anybody's idea.
No, but it's fighting for what I believe.
Yeah. Fight for something of your own. Don't compare me to you taking Donald Trump's product.
But the way that you try to to demise or to put down myself as I'm just nothing more than a pimple on his ass.
You are.
I don't care if I'm a hair follicle on his head, which he should have redone. But the thing is that it's my right and my feeling, and as our organization is, to go through and do something that we want to do.
Well, it's his right to sue you and try and prove in court.
Most definitely, and that's
it's
what
his
I
trademark.
want. I want it so bad is that we aren't backing down. We want our day before the
Of course
court.
you're not, because it's the most exciting thing ever happened to you.
Everything is more publicity for you. It's good for you.
Here's my guess about you. Lauren, how can you say that? Lauren, here's my guess about you. And you probably won't admit to this.
I'll admit to anything.
Your father didn't pay much attention to you, and now Donald Trump is
that's
paying...
very nice to say since my father has just passed away.
Exactly.
That is cool.
Exactly. And now you're looking for a new dad.
My father was great.
Lauren,
my father inspired us.
Well, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of panic there in your voice.
No, my father was great.
Your
He
father...
was excellent. He taught us how to fight for ourselves and how to be strong, and no matter what we were, with all...
I think if your dad had paid more attention to you, you wouldn't be looking for Donald Trump to be your dad.
Donald Trump to be my dad?
Yeah, that's what's going on here. You want to get in court. You want everyone paying attention to you. You'll go to court and Donald Trump will know your name.
I think you've been reading Dr. Phil.
Lauren? Lauren? What are you wearing right now? Tell my audience.
Hey.
Are you dressed as Lauren? Are you dressed as Lauren or are you dressed as Ben?
No, sorry.
You're dressed as Ben?
Yep, sorry.
What are you wearing, underpants?
Would you stop?
Why?
Because I don't want to talk about what I'm wearing.
Why not?
Let's talk about what I'm going to wear to court. A Chanel suit, or should I wear
dress as
an
Lauren?
Armani suit?
Are you going to dress as Lauren in court or as Ben?
That's what everybody's asking. I haven't decided yet.
When did you start dressing like a woman?
About 15 years ago.
Now, are you, like, beautiful? Are you like funny?
Are you like a big fat dude? That
sure he's hot.
A lot of these guys who dress up as women are big fat dudes, and it's like, you know what?
Right, they're the funny drag.
There's no illusion there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about drag queens, okay? We'll get off this for a second. Why do a lot of drag queens insist on, like, performing in shows where they lip sync?
Because why would you want to hear them sing?
Well, that's my point. Like, if you could sing, then I'd say, okay, but it's a weird show. They all dress up as women.
And pretend to be singing.
And pretend to be singing.
Right.
You know what, Howard? I just called Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
And he would love to come on the air and talk about it.
Oh, really?
I would love... Oh, my God, cool.
Yeah, cool, because he should...
Look at how excited you're getting.
It is, you know what?
Mr. Trump.
And this isn't the most exciting thing that I've done.
Yes, it is. You're looking for Mr. Trump to be your father, and you're looking for him to pay attention to you.
The whole thing is we've been
let Mr. Trump talk now, Lauren. Lauren.
Ben, even a train comes to a stop.
Mr. Trump.
Yes.
I've spent 10 minutes trying to explain to Lauren here that what he is doing is trading off of the name that you spent millions of dollars developing, and of course he has to put a stop to it. What do you say?
Well, first of all, I didn't love to come in the air carry calls. I wouldn't use the word love.
Okay.
I didn't know what this is all about. Are you the gentleman that wants to do...
Miss Gay Universe?
I see. Okay. Well, you know, Howard, I bought that. I spent a lot of money on it. Over the last 5 or 6 years, as you know, it was close to tanking.
Right.
And over the course of about a 5-year period, I built it up, through my company. I built it up into a position where we got the highest ratings of the evening.
Right.
NBC, it was NBC's #1 show.
And congratulations.
It was one of the top 7 or 8 shows of the week. And it has a great value.
And I thought you were nuts when you bought it because I didn't think you'd be able to do it.
You know what he did? The smart thing was he switched partners. Weren't you with NBC? And
no, I was with CBS. Originally, I had CBS broadcasting it, and then I switched to NBC, and that was a great move. And NBC has done a great job.
They have. They've been very supportive. And I'm a big fan of Mr. Trump. I think he's. I admire him. I think that.
So then, why don't you leave his trademark alone?
Why are you bothering him?
And call yourself. We were saying, call yourself Miss International.
Why
you got no problem.
Bothering him?
Of course you are. He can't let you get away with it.
Me, but it does. There is a great confusion, and there is sort of a reliance on the name Miss Universe, which really does have a tremendous value now. Like. Many millions of dollars, perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars, and
you had to pay for it.
Howard, it's the largest show in terms of ratings. It's the largest show broadcast anywhere in the world.
Just for this past year, though.
Well, yeah, but it's taken me about 5 years to get it to that point.
Like you or anybody else, need to build and take it from there. Now, what about the Miss Nude Universe? Since I've got you on the phone, what about Miss Nude Universe?
Well, we know nothing about it, but if we do hear something about that, we don't get everything because you just can't know everything. But if we if we found there is something like that, we'd probably be inclined to sue that also.
Well, there is.
And the other thing is Donald Trump.
Well, we'll look into that.
Donald Trump brings up a point.
The one thing I want to say, because it was like I called your attorneys to say who knew nothing about it, and your staff has been wonderful, your assistants, and just to say, if I was Mr. Trump, someone's head would be on a platter.
Why?
Because to allow Miss Nude Universe, which is a porn site.
Do you know what it costs to keep suing everyone?
Well, that's what they do.
Well, that's the point.
Do.
He says if he learns of Miss Nude Universe, which obviously he's unaware of, he's going to sue them too. You know, you got to protect your trademark.
You can't sue them once they've already, I don't believe, have their trademark.
No, it doesn't matter. You have a period of time to sue. You can bring it over a course of, I think, even 3 years.
Lauren, what you're missing here is Mr. Trump paid for the name Miss Universe and built it up.
With Miss Gay Universe.
You're not pay. Who are you paying?
That we haven't paid anything, and with the lawyer fees that they push us to go through. And
Lauren, I will say this: when you announced, we were inundated. The phone calls. We have a big Miss Universe office in New York, and
right, I know.
The switchboard was just inundated with calls from tremendous numbers of people all over the country saying, this is terrible. You have to stop it. Now, I don't know what their problem was in terms of terrible and the use of the word terrible, and I guess I don't really care too much about that, but we were inundated with calls
confusion.
Saying, stop this.
It was confusion.
It is confusion.
Mr.
Perhaps.
Trump, the only reason that we held off on publicity, and with your great attorney staff, who we have a good rapport, or I have a good rapport with.
Oh, yeah, they're thrilled with you.
Yeah, they love you.
They're thrilled with you.
They talk nicely.
They talk nicely.
Why don't you just find another name and you go out there and do your thing and build it up like I did over a course of 5 or 6 years, and I'll bet you'd have a great success on your hands.
I think that's a great idea, and that's what I've recommended to Lauren.
Well, thank you guys for your advice, but that's what makes America America.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong to rip someone else off. Because you're stealing from someone. You know why you're calling it Miss Gay Universe? Because Miss Universe is popular. It's something he built up.
Come on, Lauren.
It's obvious.
Lauren, be reasonable.
I am being reasonable, and I've worked.
And the lawyers love you, Lauren, because you're running up Mr. Trump's bill. That's why they love you.
Really? And
actually, my lawyers are very happy about it, Howard.
Of course.
They are happy about it.
Of course they are.
They just keep sending the bills,
Right.
You bet.
You know what? And I don't even get a paycheck from Mr. Trump, and I was the one that found some of the flaws that his attorneys did.
You sure you're not working for my lawyers?
I wish I was. Because
let's see.
Paycheck and I don't.
Let's see what Andrea has to say. Go ahead, Andrea.
Hi, I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And that Dan Coons is a scammer through and through.
Why is he a scammer?
I own a florist up here.
Were you a florist in Buffalo, Lauren?
A florist in Buffalo.
Yep.
Is that true? Called Season?
And I'm a scam artist?
Yeah, you take people's money, and then when you say you would give it back because the wedding was canceled like 3 months before, you shut your doors, and I could never even find you again until today.
Well, honey, I'm not a scam artist, and you know right where everybody is, and I appreciate the call. That's not true at all.
Let me ask you something. Would you mind if I started a Miss Really Gay Universe?
Sure.
Of course you'd mind.
No, I wouldn't, because you can go ahead with it.
Oh, come on. You're not being honest now. John, go ahead. Go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah, John. No, John. Now, listen. I don't know what to tell you. Mr. Trump's been very good about calling in. You've been good about calling in. But, Lauren, you're way out of line on this one. And I'd be the first one to agree with you if you were right, but you're not.
And, Howard, I have to go back to building buildings.
Yes, he does.
So good luck. And, Lauren, good luck.
No, why are you wishing him luck, Donald? Why not say, hey, you know what?
He's a good, you know what? He's a good businessman. He knows no matter what happens, that's what makes Mr. Trump Mr. Trump.
Oh, stop the ass kissing.
It is an ass
He's not thrilled with having to spend money on you suing you. Right, Mr. Trump?
Well, I don't love giving money to lawyers, but it's a modern-day necessity, as you know very well, Howard.
And he's saying good luck to you because he's got a battery of lawyers and he'll never let you win.
Right. Right. He'll win. And rightly so. All right. Donald Trump, thank you.
Goodbye, Howard. Goodbye, Robin.
Bye.
You know, Howard, in all seriousness, there's a precedent in this case that would help Donald Trump. Years ago, a guy tried to start a gay baseball team, all gay guys, and he called it the Gay Yankees. And the Yankees sued him.
Right.
And the guy had to change the name of the team.
Exactly.
To the Mets.
Right.
No, but nobody would be interested in the team if it wasn't if it wasn't the Yankees. You know what I mean?
No, right, exactly. It would be the same thing if that happened. You know, you can't use a name that's already established and just add gay to it or something.
Yeah. All right.
But why is it if you go to the internet, you can see we're only one of, like, as they'll tell you at his law office, we're only one of, like, 200 that want. There's Miss Black, you know, universe. There's Miss, you know, prom universe. There's Miss. I mean, we're only one. And I realize, I'm not stupid, I realize the whole fact is if it wasn't to do with Mr. Trump, I wouldn't be getting, you know, the phone calls, or you wouldn't be discussing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like you could call it a million other things. Ed, go ahead.
I just wanted to get that guy off the air and say, what about Spike? Why should he be able to, and this guy can't?
Well, he can sue all he wants, but
it's like, who cares? They have all this money to throw around. You know, I'd rather see this guy pay his lawyer bills by eating Beetlejuice crammed up Eric's, you know, and, you know.
Geez, I don't even follow this. Well, I'm trying to make some sense out of all this. But, all right, hey, listen, Lauren.
Ben.
Yeah, Lauren.
We got about 5 people on the phone with you.
Are you a fat female impersonator, or do you look like a woman, actually?
With the pictures, I guess I look like a woman.
How old are you?
44. Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
What are your measurements?
Never mind.
Do you put in boobies, or you have real boobs? Or?
No, I don't have. No, there's no hormones. None. Sorry.
Is there a place I could see what you look like on the website? Because it's got to be frightening.
It's got to be what?
Frightening.
Oh, I think you'd be rather surprised.
A 44-year-old guy in a dress?
You'd be surprised.
Oh, I'll be surprised, all right.
You will. You will.
You're saying you're hot.
What size dress?
Even though, you know what, even though I still respect you, I still, and I'm not ass-kissing, and I wish you wouldn't say that. I mean, I do respect Mr. Trump, and I do respect you, because you know what, this is what it's all about, being able to fight, and this is what...
Well, you can fight all you want, I just don't agree with you.
You don't have to agree with me. I don't want everybody to agree with me, and it's been nice to have someone, you know, put me on a debate. You know,
have you ever dressed up as a woman, gone to a bar, and picked up a straight guy?
What does it have to do with anything?
Oh, I think it has a lot to do with it.
I think we're switching the subject here.
No. I'm leading up to my point. Go ahead.
No.
You haven't? You've never, like, pulled your pants, like, your panties off and then said to the guy, look,
no.
I'm a guy?
Howard, no.
Seriously?
No.
I don't believe you.
Well, you don't have to believe, you know, I mean, so far you haven't believed anything I've said, you know, and I'm a scam artist, so...
I didn't say you were a scam artist. That's some other person's problem. You could take that up with them. I don't know if you're a scam artist or not. I just don't know.
I'm not. I'm a pretty, you know, I work hard and you know, we donate, whatever. So it's just something where, you know, and it was interesting.
How big do you make your boobs when you become a woman? Do you go very big, or
no?
How big are they? B cup?
Probably.
And what happens when you get into your 60s or 70s? Will you still dress like a woman?
No.
Will you still be in pageants? I mean, what's the age limit on this?
Yeah, I mean...
The whole thing about this was a business move to make this more of a retirement for the partners and myself.
You're saying when you're 60 you won't dress like a woman?
No.
Why?
Because I've started to move out of it and move more into the business aspect of things.
Do you have a lover?
No.
When you do have a lover, are you the woman? You dress up like a girl? Are you a bottom?
I do not.
Are you a bottom or a top?
I'm not discussing that.
Oh, you have to.
Come on, man.
This is part of the whole thing, because it's part of it.
You pretty much ripped me to shreds.
I have not.
And I'm supposed to be,
I disagree with you, that's all.
All right. It's fine as disagreeing, but, you know.
Well, let me learn
a
little bit about this.
It was fun. I mean, it was nice talking to Mr. Trump. I think I do admire him. He's great.
You know, I never thought I'd say this to a guy, but come on, answer, Lauren.
What?
Everything. We just want to know.
Are you a bottom or a top?
Versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Backflips.
Are you a non-sexual?
I hang from ceilings, chandeliers.
But you like having a penis?
I love having a penis.
And so you don't live your life as a woman?
No, I do not live my life.
So how often do you start dressing up like a woman? Like once a week?
Not even.
Not even.
It's all business with you?
Now it's all business. It used to be. I used to do stand-up and everything like that as a woman. Great. But not anymore. So, you know, that's the way it goes.
You shave your legs?
No.
Oh, you vague.
Come on.
Boy,
You must wear gowns.
What do you wear, stockings?
Well, you have to.
And what do you do? Forget it.
You know what? I'm sorry, Howard, but I keep coming up with alternate names this guy could easily use.
Like what?
Miss U.S. Gay.
There you go.
U.S. Gay?
Miss U.S. Gay. That's
perfect.
It's catchy. Everyone will remember it.
But they would still bring us because it's close to Miss USA, and he owns that.
He owns Miss Universe.
He owns the USA.
Wait, no.
Miss
He owns
USA
Miss Universe and also Miss USA. So you can't use...
I don't know about that. I think he...
I know he does.
No, I think...
he does.
I think that's different enough that he'd let it go.
Oh, you don't
he
think
wouldn't let it
an
go.
Objection to U.S. Gay?
Miss
right,
U.S.
he
Gay.
wouldn't let it go. He would be on that just as quick as he was with Miss Gay Universe.
When's the last time you had a little ass?
Oh, my God. Robin.
Hello? Check, please.
Hello, hey, can I have some ketchup?
Ketchup?
That was out of left field, wasn't it?
Hey, can I ask you a question as a gay man?
Sure.
If you see a guy walking around on the streets of Manhattan
with his shirt off?
With his shirt off and just a pair of shorts.
I was going to comment on that.
Is he gay?
No, unless he folds the shirt perfectly and stuffs it in the back part of his pants, and it lays like a flap. Then you know he's gay.
All right.
That's like the gay flag?
Well, no, but you know what? When it's like a gay man or a straight man will just take the shirt off and just whatever. But a gay man will at least take the shirt off, but he has to fold it and then tuck it perfectly in the back part of the pants.
All right, that's good to know. All right, thank you, Lauren. Lauren Fox is the founder of the Miss Gay Universe pageant. Thank you.
Soon to be renamed.
Soon to be renamed.
Right. Thank you, Robin. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Ben,
Have a good day.
a.k.a. Lauren Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Wow.
A raging controversy.
You bet.
What the dog doing?
Okay, if you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone and has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts, you ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
That doesn't really answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and will know what they stand for.
This guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of fucking you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your fucking bullshit you're fucking peddling. The world is not saying, you know what? You're right. Fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could fuck in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy is the fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid fucking questions. Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I still good with this? Did I cross any lines? A little. What the fuck? I didn't say the F word. You just brought this fucking guy in here to piss me off.
You just did, but just to follow up, I mean, Rick.
Did I say it?
You just did.
No, I didn't say it.
Right there, you did.
Different F word. Yeah. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I like the fucking gays. Here's the thing. I've never. You guys think I've ever shit on a gay man or shit on a gay word? I like the gays. It's fucking freedom. We still have it in America. We'll teach you about it. You guys don't have fucking freedom of speech. I'm surprised what I'm saying is probably gonna get I'm probably gonna get the fucking Canadian government to arrest me. So I don't give a fuck who you fuck. I don't give a fuck what you want to do in life. But don't fucking tell kids about it. Don't teach that shit in fucking school. Don't fucking push your agenda. Don't try to fucking brainwash people. Don't try to go past parents. Don't try to go past all this shit. And
peace and love. Peace and love.
You mutt-sucking sons of a bitch. You understand?
Donald Trump will be here in a half hour to promote his new TV show. I'll tell you about that. A lot of people on the phones. We'll get to them, but first, these words.
Here's Christian Slater's father with a patriotic tune.
I'm an American, a full-blooded American. I live in the greatest land of all. I'm an American, I love being American, and that's why I'm always standing tall. It's a land composed of many, yet we're all united as one. We have found the lucky penny, so we chase happiness, money, and fun. I'm an American, a full-blooded American, and anyone who hyphens is a smart. And anyone who hyphens doesn't belong. And anyone who hyphens go back to hell.
The Howard Stern Show, 95X.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Howard Stern.
All right, Donald Trump has a TV show. And it airs, I think on Fox. Someone going to give me a plug?
What? The Apprentice? I think it's NBC.
Oh, it is NBC.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody give me a plug. Man's here to plug. Whoa! Oh, let's see. It's down here. Ah, look at Donald Trump. Looking richer and better than ever. Look at you. You look happy.
That's a rich guy.
I'm surprised you're still happy.
I think he's like Superman or something. He's got superpowers.
His superpowers to look happy.
Hello, Donald.
You have a good time being Donald Trump. I saw some of the show because they sent me advance copy, but they cut off the ending.
Well, we have to do that.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to tell anybody the ending.
It's too bad because the ending is really good.
Wait, we got to get a mic on you.
Yeah, we want to hear what you have to say.
I got to get those on.
Get those on and get that mic right near your mouth.
Okay.
So, this is a big deal for you. Your own TV show.
Well, I'm having fun. By the way, your intern is incredible. Julie, it's her first day.
Julie?
Julie, get her out here.
She's hot? I heard we have some hot interns.
Yeah, get her out here.
I just saw her.
Get her out here. She's amazing. So I said, are you in front of camera? Or she said, Mr. Trump, I want to be a writer. I said, you're nuts.
Let me see her.
Get her out, Howard.
I don't really look at the interns because...
Well, you haven't had a chance to see this one. She just got here.
This could be a star.
I poked my head in the other day to that big intern meeting.
Come here, Julie.
Hey, Julie. I poked my head into the intern meeting, and I saw a lot of hot chicks.
Now, look at the face.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Julie, what are you, a model or something?
No.
Really? Mr. Trump has tapped you for something.
Stardom.
He thinks you have star quality.
Potential stardom.
Yeah, she's all right.
Where are you from?
Woodside, Queens.
Woodside, Queens.
They're growing them like that there now, Donald?
How did you miss her?
My father used to build houses. He used to build houses in Woodside. So that's.
I have good news for you, Julie.
Yes.
You just won The Apprentice. You're going to be Mr. Trump's assistant.
Says, why didn't you go out for this?
You could have won.
She could be.
Been a winner.
She could be The Apprentice.
She looks like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Would you go out with her? If you didn't have the beautiful Melania?
Well, you know, I have this great girlfriend, Melania, and like...
Let's say Melania got hit by a car and was in a horrible disfiguring accident.
Are you planning to
It
make
would take
that
me
happen?
years to recover, and then perhaps I'd call up Julie.
You would call up Julie.
But by that time, Julie would be very old.
Too old for you.
Too old, yeah.
Julie, do you have a boyfriend?
Yes.
You do. Yeah, figures. Well, of course.
Of course. She's gorgeous.
What's that scumbag do?
Probably goes to school or something.
What's he, like a
Stupid
bookie?
like
He's
that.
a bookie in Queens, right? Dump him.
He's a jazz musician.
Yeah, well,
no.
That means he's broke.
Mr. Trump, advise her on the life of the jazz musician.
I would say it's, hey, do you love him or just like him?
Yeah, I love him.
Do you love him a lot?
Yeah,
Well, then you have to stay with him, I guess, you know.
Unless he's Lenny Kravitz,
pretty sure.
I'd lose him.
He ain't Lenny Kravitz.
It
Jazz.
could happen.
No money in
He
jazz.
could hit. Hey,
He could hit.
He could hit.
He
You
could
never
run
know.
up
Yes,
series
the
of
next
jazz.
Kenny G, right?
Yeah.
Charlie Parker died broke.
You know what Mr. Trump says off the air? Jazz musician equals heroin addict. Okay? That's his advice.
Exactly.
I was thinking of dating a jazz musician.
Just be careful, Julie.
That's right. Well, let me tell you something. Would you date Mr. Trump on the spot if he said to you, look, dump that jazz musician, I'll give you a lifestyle.
I have to have you.
I have to have you.
79 floors up in...
I was just in your building.
Is it beautiful?
Having Starbucks some coffee yesterday.
It's a great building, isn't it, Julie?
Coincidence. Yeah, it is a great building.
She could like me a lot.
You're not ruling it out.
I don't know.
She's not saying no.
I'm very nervous right now. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, a guy owning his own building's more impressive than a guy who plays solo on the sax. That's some dive bar.
Well, you have not lost your way with the ladies. That is true.
Well, I just think ladies are amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. By the way, This is not a coincidence, but every building in New York is Trump buildings. So you might want to think about that. All right, well, Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You've been noticed by Mr. Trump, and I think good things are going to happen to you.
Thank you, Howard.
That's a big break. This is great. Yeah, no, I think she's got potential, right?
You could be living in Trump Tower.
You could be big. But the face should be on camera, not off camera, and you shouldn't be a writer.
Right.
Right now, people that look like you don't write.
Yeah, you don't need to write.
I know what writers look like.
Yeah, Benji's a writer.
Writers look like me.
Yeah, let Benji stand up. That's a writer.
See, that's a very talented writer.
Benji, stand up. You're a writer. Look.
That's a writer.
That's a writer right there.
There's Benji.
Right there. Yeah.
That's a writer.
He ain't going on camera.
You can write.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to design and decorate one of Mr. Trump's hotels with that face. Trust me.
You want to...
Or write your advertising campaigns, whichever comes first.
Well,
ad campaign.
We'll have to think about that.
If you date him, you'll get your face on every room key in the country.
You say you're a writer. Mr. Trump wants to ride you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Julie. Good luck and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good luck, Julie.
Look at you spotting the talent.
Jesus.
Unbelievable how you do that.
Got a good eye.
And you move right in for the kill.
She came with coffee. I said, how long have you been here? She said, this is my first day. I said, has Howard seen you yet?
Not yet.
And she said, no. And I said, I think he will today.
I see her face on a casino chip in about 2 years. So, I noticed one thing with the new show. First of all, I'd be afraid to work for you. You were really tough on these kids. I mean, you come in there with like a real serious attitude.
Well, I think I'm fair, but it's a tough show. It's a tough city. It's basically business in New York City. It's a tough city, as you know, Howard, as well as anybody. And
he comes in and he blasts these kids.
What are they supposed to be doing when he's blasting?
Here's the deal. They take 16 kids.
They cry.
They take 16 kids, okay? And
I mean, they're not kids. They're in their 20s, right?
20 to 31.
Right.
Okay.
All of them have had some business experience or big education or something like that, okay? Some of them, some of them have even had real success in their life. And Mr. Trump sits down and he goes, listen, dudes, here's the deal. One of you will be selected at the end of this game. The smartest, most cunning person will be the president of one of my companies.
Ooh.
At a great salary.
Are you serious?
If you can impress me.
One of my small companies.
I was going to say, what,
okay.
Are you crazy?
But
why not?
Know. Maybe it gets real big with this person leading it, right?
What is their salary? They don't make that clear.
It's $250,000. They'll be with me for a year. We had 215,000 applicants, which is the largest number of people that ever applied for a television show, which is amazing.
Well, this actually has some potential to go somewhere else. The others are dead end.
Well, not necessarily, because I think everyone's going to be hired in the show. You know, Robin, they were all like super geniuses. They're brilliant people. Their IQs are at the 200 level. It's different from a lot of other
but what I'm saying about your show is like Survivor, you do it and it's over. Your show has the potential to create other things for these people.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true. And actually all 16. Even though only one gets chosen, I believe the other 15 people who are extraordinary, they're going to get chosen by other companies and maybe even by me. I may take more than one. I mean, these people are really smart. There's
a bunch of hot chicks on the show, and Mr. Trump takes a liking to the chicks much more than the guys.
The guys have to work extra hard to get his attention.
The first assignment he gives them is go out and sell lemonade on the streets of New York.
Oh.
And, of course, the chicks win. I'm not going to buy some dumb lemonade from some dude. Chicks go out there, guys, you give them $5, $10.
Right away. They're overpaying for lemonade.
But if those guys were creative, they would have gotten a bunch of chicks to sell the lemonade for them.
That's what Mr. Trump is looking for.
These guys are not that smart.
Ingenuity.
They're not they're not go-getters.
I don't say who won the first, but the men do have a disadvantage in selling lemonade. It's like if I was selling lemonade in a suit, they're dressed up in suits. Another mistake, right?
Yeah.
But they're dressed up in suits on Wall Street trying to sell lemonade. Now, what do you do if a guy's standing there in a suit handing out lemonade?
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, the women did use their sex appeal, and they're, like, incredibly beautiful. Of the women, there are some that are just unbelievable, like supermodel beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
In addition to having a 200 IQ, and that maybe is negative, having a beautiful woman that's that smart. That could be a negative, Howard. I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know, but it's a good show. I liked it. I really did.
That's great.
It's kind of a Survivor vibe,
Yeah.
It's the same dude who produced Survivor. Yeah.
Well, Mark Burnett did it, and Mark Burnett's really a brilliant guy, and he's very high on the show, so we'll see what
You know who's the real Survivor? Melania. How is she holding on to you?
We've all been wondering, how has this lasted as long as
she holds on to me very easily because she's just exceptional. She's just great. Now,
what makes her exceptional?
She's listening right now, and, every time I've done Howard's show, I've gotten in trouble with Melania.
But talk to me about
You understand that, right?
Talk to me about this. What does she do? Okay, first thing is, you don't have to marry her. That's a big plus.
She doesn't make that a
Well, I
issue?
don't preclude that, because, at some point, I don't preclude that.
Why haven't you married her?
Well, it's 5 years. It's exactly 5 years now.
Right.
And I'm a little gun-shy with marriage. You understand that. But I wouldn't be with Melania. I mean, she's just a solid, wonderful, beautiful person.
So answer the question, why haven't you, since you're not gun-shy?
Well, I haven't, but I certainly wouldn't preclude it. I think marriage is great. I think if you meet the right person,
Are you going to have more children? Does she want to have kids?
I like children. You know,
You're going to have more kids?
I like spreading this wealth. And what am I going to do? I'm going to kick the bucket and...
Give it to me.
I have 4 children right now.
Right.
I don't
You're
mind
going to
having
make them
10.
incredibly wealthy.
It's enough. They're all going to be very rich.
Make me your kid.
Okay. They're all going to be very rich. And, you know, having children has to do with money. And if you have money, what difference does it make if you have more children?
But then you got to be involved with them, and then you got the life. What do you want? You're going to sit at home? What, you going to have housekeepers raise these kids?
No, but you know, I've been a good father, but Robin, I've been a good father, really good father, but I've never been that involved. Like, if they ever said, "Come on outside, Dad, let's have a catch in Central Park,"
you're like, "What's that?"
I'd say, "Excuse me, what?"
You probably hang out more with them now, that they can actually do things with you in your world.
Well, now I'm starting to like them better because they're starting to work in my company.
Yeah.
And therefore, you know, because I am somewhat business-oriented, they're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good before the age of 21.
Right.
You're not good at relating to kids.
But I'm great after the age of 21 because I can get them to work.
Right, and they like that.
And I get them at a good salary, you know.
So you're saying you might marry Melania, and you might have kids with her. I'm shocked.
I would certainly think it would be... You know, look, she's great.
And she gets pregnant and gets fat? What are you going to do? You know you need a hot chick. He needs a hot chick. Let's be honest. You know that.
She'll spring back. Look at those genetics.
You don't know if she'll
She has got great genetics. She would.
That's a big gamble, my friend.
All right, well, I've seen some basic disasters. There's no question about it.
You bet.
I've seen some beautiful women. And, Robin, I said they would spring back. It never happened.
Oh, dear.
Right. In fact, one of my friends has been waiting for 11 years now. His wife is...
Not springing.
You want to name any names?
No, I better not. He knows who I'm talking about.
Who are we talking about?
His wife turned out to be a disaster.
Oh.
So what's he going to do?
She was like this beautiful woman, 125 pounds.
There you go.
Now she's around 230.
Get out of here. Oh.
No, she always blamed, you know, the baby.
The baby
The
fat.
poor baby. I mean, she blames the baby every time she looks.
She could lose weight.
Well,
How old's the baby now? 30?
no, baby's 11.
So he's hanging in there waiting 11 years.
So it's a long time.
Right. So he comes to you and he says, what am I supposed to do?
I don't want to make Robin laugh too much because you're...
That's right. Somebody's going to get some money.
You want to get in on that?
I take under... See, I know Robin for a long time, and I really like Robin. I consider her a very serious person.
Right.
And we have to be very serious today. I don't know, am I supposed to make her laugh or not make her laugh? But we have to be very serious today because we want to make you look like a serious person.
You're telling me you haven't banged any other chicks since taking up with Melania?
No, I've been very faithful.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you're lying.
Well, you haven't since Beth. How's Beth?
No, I'm doing great.
You have a great... He has a great girlfriend.
3.5 years.
He has a great... And Melania knows her and thinks she's fantastic. And I'll bet you haven't either.
What if we could get those two together?
That would be interesting.
You know, you could run that scenario like the guy the other night with the hot tub.
Both very clean.
I have a plan.
Beautiful women.
Yes, I have a plan.
Clean.
You got a hot tub somewhere. Mar-a-Lago somewhere.
You can get one.
I have lots of hot tubs. Not necessarily for me, but...
We get together, go out for a few drinks. You don't drink?
No.
Not at all?
No, I've never had a drink.
You're gonna drink this.
I never had a drink. It's one of my good things. I never had a drink, and I never had a cigarette. Other than that, I'm a disaster.
No glass of alcohol? Never? Wine?
I've never had a drink or a glass of alcohol.
No weed or anything like that? No dope?
I never had any of that.
No hillbilly heroin?
No Oxycontin?
It was always women. For me, Howard, it was always women.
That's not bad.
How about Rush Limbaugh being addicted to
that? He's got a problem. I guess. You know, I listened on your show. You were saying you'd read the definition of this drug, and it said it causes deafness. Now, you know, how does this happen? All of a sudden, one day he wakes up, he can't hear.
Right.
So this guy, if you really think of it, he must be living in hell. Think of it. Think of his life. He had everything going.
Everything.
And then one day, he goes probably to the wrong doctor, has a back operation. He has unbelievable pain. He starts taking drugs, loses his hearing.
And he's still taking
loses his life. Is going to maybe be put in jail. I mean, what's happened to this guy, if you think about it, really, just on a human scale, it's unbelievable.
It's catastrophic.
What's happened to him.
He's a sad guy.
No, it's a sad story, and I don't know where this happened. I guess but you were reading that this drug, if you take too much of it, will cause total deafness, right?
Right.
So that's what happened, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. You know, the definition of the drug, it has side effects, deafness. Now, if I saw that, I'd say, guess what? I think I'm going to have a little pain.
Especially a guy on radio.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what did he need to be so pain-free for?
Yes, Mr. Limbaugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've always been honest with you. And last night I took 80 Vicodin, and this morning I can't hear a thing.
The show sounds great, though. So you're telling me you got the first of all, Why do the TV show? They're not paying you anything, are they?
Yeah, they did. They paid me a lot of money.
I'm
not doing it.
Let me guess.
Hey, what difference would the money make, though?
It doesn't matter. I liked it. I'll tell you what.
You get $1 million for the show?
Much more. But
much more than $1 million.
Yeah, much more. They pay me much more. I didn't do it for that. I don't give a shit. You know what that is? That's like Asprey paying rent for 1 month, okay?
Right.
So I don't care about that.
How much money do you make a day?
Hey, look, I'm the biggest developer in New York by far.
You're worth $2 billion right now, right? Or more?
2.5 is what I read.
Much more.
Much more.
Honestly, much more.
Where are you hiding it? They can't
I
find
just have it around. I'm going to give it to my kids.
Tell me some good toys you've been doing. What have you been doing lately to have fun?
Working. I just work. I have fun. I've been doing this kind of crap. I have fun.
But what'd you do for the holidays?
I was in Palm Beach at Mar-a-Lago.
Would I like Palm Beach, or is that...
You would love it. Palm Beach is great. It's the best. I mean, there's no place like Palm Beach.
What would I do there?
Howard, the weather was 75 degrees for 2 weeks with not a cloud in the sky. It's the best weather. It's the best place. It's zero crime.
And what is Melania?
Does
she run around in little bathing suits over at Mar-a-Lago?
She looks great. She walks around in bikinis and drives the members crazy.
She's got a killer body.
She's got the best body. She does.
I would bang her in 2 seconds.
I think the best body I've seen.
Here's what we do. We bring the girls over to the hot tub.
Yeah.
You say, girls, let's all get naked. We get naked. If you don't mind being naked in front of me.
Because the rule in the hot tub is everybody has to be naked, right?
Do you have a real big penis? Because I don't, and I don't want to be in the hot tub with you naked if you've got a real big penis.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting statement.
As long as your penis is under 2 inches, placid, I'm right there in the tub with you. Well, we say to the girl, let's all get naked and get in the hot tub. We get in the hot tub, and then you say, hey, I bet Howard and Beth would like to see you give me oral.
To Melania.
You say that to Melania. Melania starts doing oral on you. Me and Beth are watching. I go, hey, let me return the favor. Donald and Melania want to see Beth give me oral. Then I say, hey, Melania, why don't you come over here? Donald wants to watch you, too, give me oral.
Oh, see, you're not being fair. The guy was being generous and gave the girls to the other guy.
No, I'm not giving Donald that. He's got everything else. I'm not giving him.
Howard, let me just ask. You said something a while ago about Beth that amazed me because it applies to Melania.
Right.
You said you've never seen her do anything, like, bad in terms of her own personal. Right?
See, that's true. She would never even do another chick.
No, but not even that.
Yeah.
You said you've never heard her fart.
Well, how about this?
Is that true?
Not only is that true.
Amazing?
Not only is that true.
In years, 3.5 years, he's never.
She doesn't make duty. She hasn't made a duty like 4 times maybe.
In 3 years.
In 3 years.
Wow.
You think I'm kidding?
No, I'm going to say, and I can say the exact same thing about Melania.
How much does Melania weigh? Do you know?
125. She's 5'11". Perfect. 125.
Wow.
And that's good.
And she hardly goes to the bathroom.
And Beth is about the same, right?
That's exactly
She's
right.
She's like 5'11",
yes.
120.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I know weights. I can tell women's weights.
You're a genius.
Men, I'm a genius. Men, I have no idea.
Right.
If I said, Artie, I have no idea what you weigh. A woman, I can tell within half a pound.
How about 5'11"?
Melania, does Melania work out, or is that just natural?
It's very natural. She works a little bit, but basically...
And she never makes a duty?
I've never seen anything.
Wow.
It's amazing.
You're probably expecting a big one this year, though.
Maybe they save that for after marriage.
One big one.
Beth and Melania, maybe they save it for after marriage.
That is great.
I don't know, but it's amazing. But you said that, and I've never experienced that before. You know, with all
Has she ever said, I'm going to the bathroom?
Hardly says that. You know what I mean, Howard?
Yeah, but like when you were with Ivana, she'd go to the can all the time. You would catch a whiff.
Well, at least...
Oh.
True?
It was a little more normal in that sense. But when you said that about Beth, I said, that's amazing. Because I never thought this applied to anybody else, and it applies to Melania.
What about Marla Maples? She's still bugging you, or what?
You know, she's really nice. It just was not for me. I mean,
you still got to deal with it, though, right? With
when I was with Marla, I owed $9.2 billion.
Right.
Okay?
It was a bad time.
It was not a good time. It was the early 90s. Real estate markets collapsed. I was fighting for my life. And, you know, when you owe $9.2 billion, nothing matters.
A lot of pressure.
It's a lot. And she was there, and she was good, and she was, you know, somebody said, you know, in all fairness, you didn't have time to look for girls. Marla was there. She was with you, and there was something nice about that. And,
right.
And so that was
What's she doing now? She married?
She's in California, isn't she?
She's in California. She's not married. Surprisingly to me, she's not married. And
Did she move her bowels along?
She's got...
Oh, my
not over excessive.
Right. I heard she lit her farts. That's what you told me privately.
She was very clean.
But how do you see your daughter if she lives in Los Angeles?
Oh, she does, but I own a lot of property in Los Angeles.
So you're going
In fact,
back
I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm doing the Jay Leno show on
Oh, no
Tuesday.
kidding. That should be controversial.
Yeah, well, that'll be nice.
You guys will be talking about something interesting.
He's a great guy. I think he's a great guy, actually. But I'm doing his show, and I'm doing a lot of property out in Los Angeles.
You think Jay Leno's a great guy? A great guy?
I think he's good. I think he's a very talented guy. You know, I had him. I don't think Jay Leno gets the credit that he should get. Okay, I had him, and I know all the comedians. I know everyone. You know, a lot of them work for me in different capacities at the casinos, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I know Jay Leno. I know every comedian. Jay Leno gave a performance at the Mar-a-Lago Club a year ago that was so unbelievable in front of Mike Milken and a group of total killers financially. I'm talking about financial killers, like total geniuses. And we had 1,000 killers in the audience. Everyone, if you were worth $100 million, you were like a poor person.
Really?
And this guy gave one of the greatest performances. And I always hear where Jay isn't like the great intellectual and all that stuff. And I also like David Letterman a lot. I mean, I do both of their shows and stuff, but I like David Letterman. But I think that David gets a lot of respect. I don't think Jay gets the respect he should do. Jay is really brilliant and really funny. And what he has got is a memory that's you know, I pride myself on a great memory. Jay Leno has an unbelievable memory. He'll stand in front of an audience without any notes, without anything. He will go on for an hour and a half.
No, that's pretty impressive.
No, I'm telling you, he does not get the respect that he deserves, even though he gets great ratings.
Who don't you like? Because I even heard you defended Michael Jackson.
Well, I did. I defended. I heard your show yesterday, and it was sort of funny and sad at the same time.
It is sad, but
see, I knew Michael at his peak.
He lives in one of your buildings?
He lives in Trump Tower. He has an apartment.
And he also was around when he was married to Lisa Marie. You were sort of witness to that whole thing.
I was a part of it because he met Lisa Marie at Mar-a-Lago.
That's right.
In Palm Beach, and he fell in love.
Come on.
I'm telling you, Howard.
What are you talking about?
Howard.
Come here. Look at me.
Was love.
This is Howard you're talking about.
Listen, first of all, it was a little bit of a different Michael.
Okay.
Michael Jackson, 15 years ago, was the greatest superstar since Elvis. He was the greatest.
He had his day. He had his day.
He had his day, and he blew it. And, you know, some plastic surgeon blew it for him, okay? I mean, frankly, if he didn't have... You know, it started with the Pepsi-Cola, with the bomb that landed on his head and screwed him up, and it went on. And, you know, Michael, it's a very tragic thing. Michael Jackson's a very smart, very good guy who truly has changed a lot. And
wait a minute. What do you think? Do you think the guy, I mean, sleeping with kids in that room, come on, what's up with that? You know.
Well, I know
we spend all day trying to check them.
I defended him, and then the announcer asked me, well, would you allow your son, Eric, to spend some time? I said, are you crazy? Which was not a good defense, I think. I blew...
Yeah, but you wouldn't let your son spend any time in some adult guy's bedroom anyway, no matter who the guy is.
My sons were really cute, beautiful little kids with white hair and gorgeous little kids when they were little. And they're still beautiful, but now they're big guys.
Answer me this.
Eric is 6'6". I'll never forget, 10 years ago, Eric was like 7, and Michael was at Mar-a-Lago. And he said, Trump, your son is very beautiful. I must take him to Neverland.
Get out of here.
Now, I thought this was the nicest thing. I said, isn't this nice? He's the nicest guy. He wants to take my son to Neverland. Then I said, what is Neverland? Where is
You're never going to see
it.
What does that mean?
He'd call and say, where is Eric? And Eric, went to school and stuff, and I just couldn't do it.
You see how you can get
sucked in? And now I'm very happy about it.
But you see how you can get sucked in? You would have done it.
Well, no, but he probably would have been fine with my son. I don't think he was going to do it.
See, that's bullshit. Are you out of your mind?
No, but you only do that with poor kids.
But in mind, he didn't do it.
Of course, when Eric comes back and said, I slept in his bed.
I see I'm over my allotted time, so let me name the 3 hottest chicks right now, in your opinion, aside from Melania.
Well, Beth, Melania, who else?
Robin. No.
Now, come on, in showbiz. Who were the 3 hottest chicks you've seen? It can't be J-Lo. Her ass is too fat.
No, I really like J-Lo, but that ass is,
scary.
Okay, do you really want me to do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know this kind of stuff.
I do.
Real judge of women.
I'm very, very good at it.
He is. He's good at it. He'll give you an answer.
Look at how he picked up the intern already.
Yeah, you did. You really
No, I just noticed a great face. I mean, you don't have to be so genius today. She walks in, she's inside this, and I said, holy Christmas, she's good looking. The 3 hottest. Well, let me preface it by saying there's nothing compared to what they used to be. And I really mean this.
Meaning?
When you look at the Audrey Hepburns, we were talking about they don't make movies like they used to. It's terrible. Every movie I go to, I walk out in about 7 minutes.
Yeah, the movies really started to suck.
That's because we're getting older.
No, maybe it's that. I don't think so. I think the movies just aren't good.
They just suck. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Having said that, who's on your radar?
Well, there's a young woman named Knightley.
Yes.
who's absolutely flawless.
I agree. You know she's 19?
Keira Knightley, she's just a kid. And I told Melania, I saw her on an interview show, and it was like she's a good-looking version of whoever you want to call, but she was absolutely beautiful.
Breathtaking. She's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean, yeah.
Now, somebody who a lot of people don't give credit to, but in actuality is really beautiful, is Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton. And I've known Paris Hilton from the time she's 12.
She's hot.
Her parents are friends of mine, and, you know, the first time I saw her, she walked into the room and said, who the hell is that?
Did you want to bang her?
She is well, at 12 I wasn't interested. I've never been into that.
Right.
They've sort of always stuck around that 25 category.
But even at 12, you were kind of wow, she's hot.
I saw at 12 she was beautiful. But honestly, you know, Paris gets knocked and this and that, but she's very beautiful. Her skin is flawless. She's dumb like a fox.
Have you seen the video, the sex video?
I have seen it.
You did? What'd you do? You went on the internet?
It was just, just...
How did you see that? What did you do?
Melania showed it to me.
She did?
She showed it to me.
What did you think of that?
I think it's probably unfortunate, and perhaps it made... What is that noise?
That's the tape.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's probably unfortunate, and it made Paris hotter in terms of the world, because the world is so screwed up. I mean, you know, you think a thing like that's going to destroy. Like Hugh Grant, who I love, I think he's great. He's a member of my golf club.
Right.
You would have thought he would have been destroyed by what happened to him, and he's a bigger star now than he ever was, so you never know what happens.
Right.
But I think it probably made Paris even better. And I'll tell you, one of the most beautiful women in the world, according to every magazine, but I have to say it's true, and I helped...
Let me guess. Angelina Jolie. No?
Not at all.
Go ahead.
No.
She's not beautiful?
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her?
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
She made a lot of money as a model, a tremendous amount, and then she went cold turkey and gave it all up because she had to go to college, because I wanted her to go to college. She goes to the best college.
Wharton.
She goes to Wharton. She's got straight A's. And she's considered one of the most beautiful women. And she really is. She's like a great beauty.
What if I was doing her? Would you be pissed?
I'd be really upset.
You would?
Yeah.
Me?
Know,
Howard Stern?
If you were doing and I love her. No, but...
Why would I be bad for her?
I wouldn't be upset if it was Julie. I wouldn't be upset.
Why did she be a lesbian than be with me?
Fellas, if it was my daughter, this would be very upsetting.
Would you be upset?
Good enough
well, I know
one thing about Howard. He's good enough for your daughter.
No, I know...
I'm clean.
I know Howard is a clean guy.
I am clean.
Well, you know, Tom Brady, the football quarterback for New England, who's a great guy, who was a judge at the Miss Universe pageant.
Wait a second. You just said I'm not good enough for your daughter.
No, you're great.
That's insane.
But you can't date his daughter.
You know what I like? Well,
you would be upset.
Howard's too much like me. I would never allow me to date my daughter. And he's like me. He's like a
shallow. You mean me and
shallow.
you are very shallow.
Terrible.
We are.
No, we're terrible.
We're shallow, right? Because
we're disgusting people.
That's right.
And you know, I wouldn't allow me to date my daughter, so I wouldn't allow him.
Let me ask you
Tom
this.
Brady, the quarterback, is somebody that really likes Ivanka, and he's a great guy. And I got to know him at the Miss Universe contest.
And you'd be okay with him dating your daughter?
I think he's great. He's 25 years old.
Is he dating his daughter?
All-American. Well, it could happen. I mean, he'd like to, and we'll see. But he's
guys have to come to you and
he's
say...
He's focused now on the football stuff.
I hope so.
But he is such a great guy. You know, I got to know him. He was a judge at the Miss Universe contest, which has turned out to be a big success, even though Les Moonves hates me because of what I did to him. You understand?
What if Ivanka was dating a black guy? Would that freak you out?
You know, of course, it wouldn't matter to me, right?
Don't look over here.
What are you looking at Robin for?
I'm looking at Robin. I'm saying,
don't look at me.
No, it would never. Of course, something like that wouldn't bother me.
Oh, look at that smile.
Hey, Mr. Trump! Hey, Dad! What's up?
Chris Rock is here to meet your daughter.
Wow. So... And I don't mean a light-skinned black man. I'm talking about a very dark-skinned black man.
Chris Rock.
No, Chris Rock's light-skinned.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Snipes.
I'd be a great honor to have Bernie Mac date my daughter. It would be a great honor.
Have you ever videotaped...
That is the right answer, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Have you ever videotaped yourself?
I remember, by the way, when I had the Miss Universe and I got her in, the girl from Russia who was like this great beauty.
Beautiful.
Who I had to fire because she was so lazy. But, you know, it's the first time in the history of Miss Universe that anybody got fired.
How much is there to do as Miss Universe?
Yeah, what she couldn't
Howard
take
said,
it.
have you ever dated a black man? And she looked at him like, absolutely not. And
Are you crazy?
Yeah, we're in trouble. Are we in trouble? I ended up firing her, not for that reason.
What is Mr. Trump getting the heave-ho?
Yeah. And I also want you to mention it's premieres Thursday night after Friends.
Oh, that's a great time.
That's great time.
Well, except for one problem.
What?
CBS. You know, Les Moonves doesn't like me very much, okay? Because made a good deal against him on a couple of different things. And
he doesn't like me very much either.
Yeah,
so
well, and I don't, I guess we could say that, although I actually do like him. But what he's done is put 2 episodes of his #1 show, CSI,
against you.
Against me.
Oh.
This could only happen to me.
Is that a compliment?
I still think we'll kick his ass, but to be honest with you, but, he has a real big thing going with Jeff Zucker.
Right.
Who's an amazing guy.
Right.
And
you got paid over $1 million for your show.
A lot more than that.
Are you getting over $2.5 million?
Yeah.
You are. You're getting paid over $2.5 million.
But I don't do it for that. I'm giving the money to charity anyway. What
charity are you giving it to?
Lots of charities. AIDS research, police athletic league, lots of different.
Yeah, we got to cure AIDS. So we go back to not wearing rubbers.
Yeah, they were the good old days. Remember 1979, Howard? I mean,
you still have to wear rubber?
There was like a period of time where it was like, I don't need to anymore because I'm so faithful.
And Melania is faithful.
I know. No, she's faithful. I mean, I'd be.
So what do? You pull out?
No, she's on the pill. Yeah.
You fell for that one time before.
I did. That happened. Darling, I'm so happy. We're about to have a child. I said, excuse me? I didn't know about this.
You trust Melania to take a pill every day, or you check
You know what?
she does?
She's been amazing. I'm 5 years, and she's been great.
And she's taking a pill every day.
I trust her in every way.
I bet you still pull out just to make sure.
No, I don't know. She's just amazing. She won't do that. She wouldn't do it. No, I did.
Would you push her down the stairs?
And I'm glad it happened. I have a great little daughter, Tiffany.
Right.
But at the time it was like, excuse me, what happened? And then I said, well, what are we going to do about this? She said, oh, are you serious? This is the most beautiful day of our lives. I said, oh, great.
I didn't realize.
What do you mean we? So I said, do you want to get married?
Yeah.
There is no videotape of you having sex. Have you ever videotaped your own sex?
No, I'm not into that. It's not
your thing.
No, not my thing. I've never even thought of doing it.
I'm wishing you luck on your show.
Thank you.
I think it'll be a big thing. I saw it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I liked it. It was well produced. You come off great.
Well, thank you.
Like a real hard ass, but it's interesting.
Well, it's tough. It's a tough show. It's these kids are really bright, but the city just eats you up and spits you out, and it's a tough city, and it shows how tough the city is. So
good for you.
It's tough for them.
Good for you. Still sleeping 4 hours a day, or you eat more?
About 4.
Okay.
About 4.
All right. Don't brag.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're an alcoholic.
You're out drinking.
All right, listen, the show. It's called The Apprentice. Someone will win a job with Donald Trump, which is a big job. It's $250,000 a year. For 1 year, they get a shot.
Yeah, to run a company.
Premiering tomorrow. No, is it tomorrow night?
It's Thursday night.
Okay, at 8:30 on NBC, and then every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on NBC. Okay, I get you.
I'm going to check it out. The promos look great for it.
Yeah, it's good. All right, Donald Trump, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Continued success. Continued hot chicks and everything else.
I love your show. I listen to your show, as you know, and I think you're terrific. Have a good time. Artie, thanks.
All right.
Robin, thank you.
Good to see you.
We'll be back right after these words.
Hey, this is Andy Dick, and how are you doing? Good. Me too. I'm pretty good. Listen, I just got out of rehab recently. I'm a little bit shaky. I just did Howard's show, and to be quite honest, I think I'm going to check back in to rehab. Thanks a lot, Howard.
95X. You will hear two of the biggest loads on 2 feet. Represent the result of sincere, logical, and scientific thinking.
The Howard Stern Show.
All right. So where are we at with your laugh thing? Anybody keeping count?
Jason's supposed to be out there counting.
One guy said 150 laughs. Another guy said 100 laughs. I heard the bell go off a couple of times.
Yeah, but she was definitely restraining during that last
I wasn't restraining.
See, I'm getting that same idea that I think she's holding back.
Stop it. I laugh when I laugh.
27 laughs is the count.
See?
It has slowed down.
I told you, they go in spurts.
Streaky. I go in spurts.
Yeah.
All right. So there's Donald Trump.
He's got a good life going, that guy.
Yep.
I don't know if he really enjoys it.
I think he does.
He's happy as hell with me.
I think he's happy as a clam.
Teasing.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's one of the happiest guys I've ever met.
Really?
Even when he was down and he was like losing $9 billion, he didn't seem all that upset. I mean, he dealt with it. It's kind of easy going.
You know what was great about that time? He had already made himself so famous, the people he was in business with couldn't afford to let him go under.
Right.
So he got propped up until he could start making a role again.
Yeah, and a role he did.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how much money they're paying him to do that show.
I don't know if it's true or not.
Wait, are you lying?
I think
could
he
get caught in
always
that lie.
pumps up everything. Who's going to tell?
Well, he is the reason for the show. If it wasn't Trump.
But he does it more. It's more important for him to be famous for his name value and his branding than anything.
Milk Crate Marauder.
Yeah, well, how long it take you motherfuckers to cut a check?
Can we talk about The Apprentice?
No. I don't care. Who cares who gets that dumb job? You know what? They couldn't pay me enough money to work for Donald Trump. It's got to. You know what? I love Donald. I love having him on the show, but I can't imagine the nightmare of working for the guy.
I'll bet you the ratings on that show last night were unbelievable.
You know why that show? You know why that show makes no sense? Everyone's sitting there going, "Hey, I can't believe anybody wants to work for Donald Trump."
Right.
$250,000 isn't even enough. First of all, you're working 100 hours a day. You know what they should do? Who wants to be the announcer on the Tonight Show? You go in. It's about $250,000, and you sit there and laugh at Jay's lame crap.
And how long does it last? It's an hour.
It's an hour a day.
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay, 2 hours.
Hey, you can stretch it to 3 to 5.
Right.
If you want to.
You can really show up at
overtime.
3:55.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, I mean, it's 3 to 5. That's the job.
That's the job. That's the job you want to get.
How do my nuts taste, Jay?
And Jay just gave that job away. He didn't even try to make people vibe.
Yeah, but there wasn't even a contest. There wasn't even an audition. You know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a show you want to get on. Win Jay's announcing job.
That's a win.
But
that'd not be Donald Trump's lackey.
But everyone on a Trump show, every single one of those people, talk about how, like, when they were 8, they read Donald's book, and their whole life's ambition has been to meet him and work with him.
Oh, what a bunch of pussies.
But the thing is, getting that job, now you're working for $250,000, but you got to have to work your ass off.
No, please, you'll be working 24/7.
There's no joy for that guy. They should.
By the way, the dude who won, evidently, I was reading the paper, runs a successful internet cigar company.
He's one of our ex-sponsors.
And he's a millionaire.
Yeah, no, he does well.
Well, let me ask you something. You know anybody who smokes cigars anymore? I know like 2 people.
That's a society you don't know about. I have gone past cigar stores in the middle of the day. There are guys sitting in there just to smoke cigars.
You buy cigars over the internet?
Yeah, I guess if you can't get to the best places.
If you go
that ain't like cigarettes. I don't know if anybody buys cigarettes over the internet.
If you go on 6th Avenue, there's one of those cigar stores right there.
Yeah.
And you walk by at lunchtime, and there's a bunch of guys just sitting in there smoking.
Yeah.
I smoke a cigar every once in a while.
You have to sell a lot of those things to become a millionaire.
Well, if you've got the whole world as your as your client, you can.
And go find that internet site.
But a markup on cigars.
You're not looking for cigars. There are guys who are out looking for them.
But you're.
I think I'll Google cigars. See if I can find it.
Site.
I'll get 10,000 sites.
But you're right about the guy that won the job last night. Like. What he's got to do looks like a lot of hard work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really hard.
He's going to get yelled at. People say working for Donald Trump is miserable.
Well Trump's already goofing on him.
Yeah.
And however many weeks the show's been, he's been torturing them everybody got tortured, and they all won by getting to leave.
Yeah.
He has to stay.
Those are the winners. Those 3 chicks are happy as a clam.
And Kwame got a new car. He could drive right off.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I think the big winner is Kwame, because he's just as famous as this other kid now, and everyone thinks he's good and smart, and he'll probably get a great job, and he won't have to deal with Donald Trump.
I got to tell you.
He'll go get a good job somewhere where they're not going to bust his balls so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's into their job and getting their balls busted a little bit, but man, Trump would just torture you.
He'll take it to a new level.
I'll tell you, you know what? He yells at the people that work for him that are on the show. They'll be in the middle of a sentence and go, all right, that's enough.
No.
He's big about putting his hand up and waving people off. That's enough.
Artie does a good impression of Trump.
Well, I mean, it's just his, bragging about every single thing he touches at the end of every sentence. At the end of this, you'll get on my helicopter, which is absolutely fantastic.
He pulled that on me when I was in his helicopter because he took me to Atlantic City, Trump.
Yeah.
So I was in there with his son and Melania.
Whatever.
So I was in there with them, and we're having a good time, and then he goes, do you ever take a helicopter? And I went, yeah, sometimes. You own your own? So I go, no, I mean, if I take a helicopter, I call a helicopter company and,
Get one.
Shouldn't do that. I go, why? He goes, should own your own because you can't trust the maintenance. Now, this one is the absolutely best helicopter you can get.
That's nice.
He
got his mouth down.
Yeah. And I go, I'm saying to myself, oh, this is good. He's emasculating me in front of my girlfriend.
Right. You don't. For number one, you don't have a helicopter.
Yeah.
And number two, you're getting on poorly maintained.
Yeah, and he's like, this is a Vietnam-era helicopter. These landed in the middle of, Saigon. And I'm like, wow.
Crash.
I'm like, and he goes, and the maintenance on this thing cost me, and he goes, and then, he goes, but it's so worth it because I know it's safe. So I'm sitting there going, well, yeah, he's right. I mean, we should all own a helicopter. Right. Why should we?
Why should we be leaving the maintenance to somebody else?
Yeah, I think everyone should have their own helicopter.
Well, if you remember when we got down to Atlantic City and got on the air, that was when you interviewed him. That was his rap about. He goes, "That's a $9 million Sikorsky.
Right.
We don't pinch any pennies on the helicopter.
Not with him, anyway.
Absolutely the best helicopter on the planet." He did like 2 minutes on the helicopter.
I love the one place
it was his.
He doesn't really brag. He goes, you say something about his kids, they're good kids. They're only good. They're not the best kids.
No, he knows there are better kids. This helicopter, there we go. The reason it's great, it has its own cabin. Like, anytime I've ever flown in a helicopter,
you've practically been flying.
I'm in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
He goes, we have our own cabin. It's fabulous. So I'm like, whoa, that's that. But where am I going to get? So it's $9 million for the helicopter. Then you get the maintenance. I think is like another $9 million a year.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not a billionaire.
$500,000 for fuel.
Yeah. Oh, please.
And you got to maintain a pilot.
Oh, then you got to hire pilots.
Yeah.
Keep on full time.
Go find them. But what are the odds of me getting a helicopter?
This is the best pilot. You can't even get the best pilot. He's got the best pilot.
Meanwhile, what do I need to help? Where am I going? I'm going from my apartment to work.
Yeah, you don't have all the different Trump properties.
I don't need to survey my properties.
He's interesting. He's almost like Don Rickles. He knocks you down.
So you could hear the phlegm in his voice.
Yeah.
He knocks you down. And then
clear your throat. Oh, imagine when you're eating if you hear that.
You ask for it.
I know. I want people to hear it.
He'll knock you down. He'll take shots at you, and then he builds you up. He'll tell you, like one of the guys last night was running his golf tournament, and he goes in front of all his friends. He goes, "Don't mess this up, or you'll be fired." And he just torments those poor people.
He likes to berate. He's like Mr. Howell.
And then he takes you up to the side. He goes, "You're going to be very big one day." But I got to tell you, there was a shot last night at the very end where they were going on to next season's thing.
Yeah.
And it's him getting out of a car. Did you see that, Robin?
No.
His hair was black.
Really?
Like it was black like a skunk in the middle, and then a little bit blonde on the side.
He dyed his hair?
It was a different color. It was a different shot.
I noticed that too. Yeah, it's the oddest thing ever.
Yeah,
his mood hair.
It looked like paint fell on his head.
He's trying something new.
Well, he's trying. Everyone's goofing on his hair. You know what? Everyone's just jealous. The guy's got billions of dollars.
I don't even know. I read an article the other day that said maybe he's not a billionaire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
That he's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
But that'd be a kick in the ass for a lot of crap that guy went through to get the job. He's got no money.
Robin, it is smoke and mirrors, but it's absolutely the most fantastic smoke and mirrors you've ever seen.
All right, we got to take a break. We got a huge show for you, including my sexy little friend, Rebecca Romaine Stamos, who I actually own pictures of in my apartment.
That you took yourself.
That I took myself, Polaroid, semi-clad. No, she was semi-clad, not me.
She would only do something infamous.
Yeah. Well, you can't, that's pretty way up there.
No, I'm saying to make your pictures more valuable.
Right. Oh, yeah.
If she became like OJ.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back right after these words.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, F you. What a dick.
Hello.
Hey, on our phone is Donald Trump.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Howard.
Hey, Donald.
I'm the easiest guy in the world to work for. I get up in the morning, I turn you on, and I hear all this stuff. I'm the easiest guy in the world. There's nobody anywhere that's easier to work for than me.
Hey, I don't think it's a put-down saying you're a difficult guy to work for. It's just, listen.
You expect results. That's what we're saying.
I just think a guy who's got something on the ball doesn't want to get, if you work for Donald Trump, you're going to get your balls busted and you're going to work hard.
Well, you're going to work hard, but this guy's going to make so much money, he's going to do great. I mean, he's also a great guy. They were all great people.
Are you really going to let him really do something, or are you just going to...
With absolutely massive supervision.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, because the task I gave him is to build an 88-story building in Chicago. So he's like, what? And, I have a very good team out in Chicago, and we're building a building that's going to be a terrific building. And he is... he's going to be a part of the team, and he's going to do a good job.
Yeah, and, you see, my point is, if they do another kind of Apprentice Show,
right.
They will. They should really do it for the Tonight Show, where where you get that announcing job.
That's a cush gig.
Yeah, I mean, $250,000 a year, and all you got to do is listen to Jay's lame-ass jokes and horrible, pukey bits and interviews.
Well, I saw your friend John the other day because 3 or 4 days ago I was out in California. I did the Tonight Show, and I see John. I say, John, what's going on here? But, hey, he's a good guy, Howard. And you know what? John said really nice about you behind your back.
Hey, I got no problem with John. I'd take the job myself for $250,000 or $300,000, man, to sit there and listen to Jay's crap. I just put your earplugs or something. I don't know.
This Apprentice has been somewhat of an amazing situation because, when I did it, I thought it would be a nice little show. We'd go on, go off, and I go back to building buildings.
What are you going to do? You going to do another one?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the show, last week it finished #1 in the ratings.
Wow.
This week it's, I have no idea, but I think Artie or somebody said, can you imagine how big the ratings are? We're sort of waiting. It takes till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning to find out what the ratings are.
It's a good show, man.
Everybody was talking about it last night.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm the only guy not watching it because I saw the first one and said, this show's a hit. And then of course, I just got so many goddamn shows to watch. So I figured, all right, what am I going to do? I get the idea, and I won't watch. But I missed out on the whole thing after.
Right.
Well, last week, I guess they had close to 24 million people.
Wow.
And that's on top of the fact that they do the reruns. And if you didn't do the reruns, they do 4 reruns a week. And if you didn't do the reruns, you'd probably add another 6 or 7 people a week. So it's really been, actually, it's been a lot of fun.
I went down to your joint, Mar-a-Lago.
Good.
I had lunch there. Did you know that?
Nobody told me that. You have to be kidding. When was that?
Well, here's what happened. I was in West Palm Beach.
Right.
And I said to my travel agent, hey, isn't that where Mar-a-Lago is, where, the Donald... I can't believe that Ivana still has your last name, so I just she stole your name.
She's working it hard out there.
So I
plays that name, you wouldn't believe how she plays that name.
So I said, hey, I'd like to go see the place. So they said, well, Donald Trump, call him. I go, I'm not going to call Donald Trump and ask him if maybe he doesn't want me there.
Yeah, Isn't he busy?
Yeah. I would have loved to have you there. When did you go?
I went on a Wednesday last week.
And how did you find it?
Oh, my God, it was beautiful. I mean, ridiculously over the top, but it was weird. I was going there. I figured you eat outside. You do. So I'm wearing shorts and a nice shirt, and I brought my friend and his girlfriend.
Right.
They made them walk around through the service entrance.
Because they weren't dressed properly.
They weren't dressed properly. These guys in 90-degree weather wearing blazers and long pants. I'm like, whoa.
It's a pretty formal place, Howard.
It's formal, but I tell you, it's a nice place.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's the Mar-a-Lago Club. I converted it. It's too big for a house. It's got 148 rooms, I guess. And it's a really big, it's 110,000 feet, and I converted it to a club.
What does that mean, a club? Does that mean you have to be a member to stay there?
They pay $150,000 to join, and we have, I'm going to have a cap of 500 members, and it's been a real success. The other day I flew down. I felt guilty because The Apprentice has taken so much time. I actually flew down and got the approval for a ballroom. I'm building a ballroom there. And as I'm getting the approval for the ballroom, which is a real estate thing, I said, can you believe it? I'm actually doing real estate. The Apprentice has really taken a lot of time.
So for $150,000, what do you get? You get to stay there whenever you want? Or
you stay there, you eat there, we have a lot of entertainment. We have great entertainment. Once every 2 or 3 weeks, we have a good entertainer come in.
Like who?
Well, I've had them all. I've had Celine Dion.
Really?
Yeah, I've had Diana Ross. I have so many different, everybody essentially. We've had just about everybody.
So you can live there, is what you're saying?
You can stay there. You can.
Wait a second. For $100,
you pay a nightly rate if you stay there, Robin. But you can stay there.
All right.
And the food is. I hope you enjoyed the food, Howard.
Yeah, it was terrific. I mean, it was ridiculously over the top. It was great.
Yeah, the food is great, and then I built a golf course right across the way, like 5 minutes away. I have a golf course.
Man, I loved it down there, West Palm Beach.
Because I thought you have to have a golf course if you're going to have a club.
Well, Palm Beach is the place. I mean, it's really the place. It's better by far than South Beach. If you want to go to South Beach, you can drive down. It takes you 45, 50 minutes, and you can drive down and come back. But in terms of atmosphere and even richness and the whole thing. Palm Beach is really the place.
So what are you going to stick with Melania, or now with all this? I mean, now the fame is way over the top. You're going to.
This has been crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
This was supposed to be like a one-time shot. We were going to do a deal. We were going to do a thing. I did it with Mark Burnett, who's terrific.
Right.
And he came in and saw me, and he said, I really want to do it with you. And over the years, I've had a lot of guys come. A lot of the networks came, and they wanted to do reality because they wanted to watch me comb my hair and stuff in the morning.
You're taking a lot of heat.
I didn't want to have anybody watch me comb my hair.
And what was Artie was saying?
It was Gary and Artie who said there was something going on.
Did you dye your hair or something for next season?
Howard, I try and keep the white out as much as possible, but I agree. There was one shot in there where my hair looked pretty damn dark. I didn't want to go crazy, but I don't know what the hell happened. But there was, and it's a little strange because you don't have the normal color, and then all of a sudden you see this dark shot.
I know that's your real hair. You know what? When I was with Donald Trump on his helicopter, I saw him walk up to the helicopter, and you know how the wind blows?
Right, sure.
It was attached to his head.
Oh, it's my real hair. In fact, I've gone on some shows recently where, the announcers jump at me and lift up my hair and see, and they say, it's real. I say, yeah, it's real. And it's just the way I've combed it over the years, and I guess I shouldn't change.
Where's Melania right now?
She's right now sleeping.
So you're going to stick with her?
Well, I've had a great relationship with her. She's a good person.
So a lot of chicks hitting on you even more now because of the show?
Honestly, yes.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Of course.
Are they really hot?
I thought I was a well-known guy before. This is crazy now.
Yeah, television fame is amazing. Right?
Television fame is different, Robin. It's a whole different thing.
It's a whole new level for you.
Yeah, but it's been,
Isn't it crazy? I mean, you're like a guy who builds buildings. It's not like you do something in show business, and yet it's
now you have that same kind of fame.
Now you have that kind of fame.
Well, I have friends in show business that do this for a living, and they're going crazy because they don't understand it. They're out of jobs. They can't work. And I do this thing that you're supposed to be on for 16 episodes, and then I go back into the Wild Blue Yonder, and now I have, Jeff Zucker of NBC calls me up every morning to find out how am I feeling.
Yeah, you're not giving up. You're not giving your whole salary to charity, are you?
No.
Yeah, of
but I
course
give
not.
much more than my salary to charity over the course of a year.
Right.
Where did you read this negative? Robin, where did you read this negative story? Robin always has something negative to say. Where did you read this negative story?
I was on the Internet. Was it Fortune magazine or somebody?
No, Fortune magazine put me on the cover. They did a great story.
Well, I forget which magazine it was, but they were saying, well, is it really true that he has all this money? Because, they talked about a bunch of deals that you did with, a Japanese company.
Yeah, they've all worked out great. Every deal Fortune actually did a great story, and Forbes has been, frankly, even much better. But I'm trying to figure out where this story is.
It was one of those financial.
Well, I'll have to get that. I'll have to find out, and I'll have to sue their ass off.
Yeah, well, they say you put up $11 million to their $1 billion.
Oh yeah, that makes me really stupid.
No, but they're saying that then those guys don't get a return. You always make out, but the guys don't get.
I know, and that makes me a bad person, right?
Well, hey, no, but the thing
makes
is,
you an American.
I know, I was criticized in one magazine where the writer was retarded. He said, Donald Trump put up $7 million, they put up $193 million, and they're 50-50 partners. Why isn't Donald Trump putting up more money? And, it's supposed to be because I'm smart, okay?
Right, they're hiring you.
I put up this, they put up like 45 times more money, and then they criticize me for not putting up more money. I mean, these guys are dopes. But what am I going to do? But, it's one of those things, Robin. I get criticized.
I'm going to ask you the toughest question an interviewer's ever asked.
Go ahead.
And you're an honest guy.
I am an honest guy.
All right, here we go. In November, who gets your vote?
Well, Howard, I know what you're going through, and I listen to your show all the morning. This morning I wake up after this. We really had a great success last night. And, in all fairness, getting before 30 or 40 million people, whatever the hell, watched it. We're going to find out in about 2 hours. And standing up, you're a professional at this. I'm not. And so I get up and I listen. The first thing I do, I turn on the radio. I'm listening to my man Howard, and I've been listening to you. What's been happening with the freedom of speech, and you happen to be 100% right about that.
All right.
I was never a fan of Iraq going in because this guy used to keep the terrorists out. He'd kill the terrorists. Okay?
Right. In fact, they should put him back in.
Well. Look at that country. Do you think a regular guy is good? Do you think Jimmy Carter is going to run Iraq?
No. There's no one who could run Iraq better than Saddam Hussein.
I think Kwame could run it.
Why don't we just get someone who could run Iraq by doing a TV show? It'll be like The Apprentice to run Iraq.
Yeah. Well, I think Iraq is a terrible mistake. And, to think that when we leave, it's going to be this nice democratic country. I mean, give me a break.
It's not
There's
gonna
usually
happen.
a reason why a country's run a certain way.
Hey, Omarosa's crazy enough to run Iraq.
Omarosa maybe is the only person I know that could run it.
Hey, what do you think of I'll get back to this question, but what do you think of Omarosa saying that that girl used the N-word?
Oh, I don't believe it for an instant.
You know, I gave her a lie detector test, the girl, and she passed.
I know. She's a nice girl, too. I mean, she was shocked. First of all, Omarosa said it like 3 months after the fact. If there was no fact, but 3 months after it supposedly happened. No, I don't even believe that for a little bit. And, you know, if you didn't see it, for the people that saw it, last night they caught Omarosa in a stone-cold lie on camera twice.
Hey, by the way, I had 3 of those chicks, you know, the ones from FHM?
Right.
The blonde, what's her name?
Her name is... which one are you talking about?
Christy.
I think you're talking about Amy.
No,
Christy.
Amy wasn't here.
Oh, you're talking about Christy.
Yeah. Maron, how did you...
Christy turned out, you know, Christy, they all got in because of the brain, but Christy turned out to be I don't know if the word is stripper, but something pretty close to that. And Christy has an amazing, should I say figure as opposed to body? It's a little bit more respectful.
Oh, my God.
But
You didn't want to...
her body is amazing.
Were you sexually attracted to any of these girls?
Well, if I was, I sure as hell wouldn't say it on your show. I've gotten in more trouble in your show.
No, come on, be honest.
No, I've gotten in a lot of trouble over the years in your show, being honest.
I know you love Melania.
You know, you think you can talk a little differently on your show because everyone's going to take it. Well, they don't do that. They write it exactly as I say it.
You know, I know you love Melania. I know you got a great relationship.
I do.
But I'm just saying on a purely physical level, don't tell me you didn't want to have sex with some of those chicks.
Well, I would never admit that, Howard.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, they were beautiful. Well, they were in the FHM, and you know what I don't understand? They turned down over $1 million
to do
total.
Playboy, right?
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Playboy, and they did FHM for nothing. So that's one of the reasons perhaps they should be fired as my apprentice.
Right, I was talking about that last night with some women. I was like, what's the deal there? They're in lingerie for nothing in FHM, and they could have gotten money.
I know, and they want to be a business apprentice.
And plus, one of the chicks was naked anyway on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. All right, so give me the answer in one word. Kerry or Bush?
Well, look, let me just say, I haven't made up my mind, but I'll tell you.
That's not true. I know you have.
Listen, Kerry's a friend of mine. He's a very good guy. He's a very tough guy, and I think he's going to put up a great fight. He's at a disadvantage, I guess, although I think Iraq could bring down Bush. But Bush, this is a terrible mistake, what's gone on in Iraq. It's a terrible mistake. And I think he's also making a terrible mistake, what he's doing with you.
He is. And he should call up Colin Powell Jr.
Howard, you've got a groundswell now that's unbelievable. I was watching a regular conservative show the other day, and they were all defending you.
Can I tell you something? I am hoping. Now, there's a big article in the Post today about Mel defending me.
Right.
The fact that the FCC now is about to bring down over almost $2 million in fines, new fines against me, and Mel is going to go to court with them. But I got to tell you something. I am energized by this. I feel bad that my company is going through... Do you know how much they're going to have to pay in legal bills to defend this?
No, forget it.
I am so ready to be off the air and start a new part of my career that will make me bigger and stronger than ever. And I have ideas and thoughts about what I want to do in the future. I am energized by it. I am ready to be sacrificed by Colin Powell Jr. to point out the ridiculousness of this administration and John Ashcroft and Colin Powell Jr., George Bush. I want to be thrown off the air. I want them to physically remove me from the air.
You know Mel's been very loyal to you, Howard.
He's fantastic.
Incredibly so, yeah.
He's great.
He's been very loyal to you. Did you get the note I sent you?
Yes, I did, and I talked about it on the air. There isn't a CEO in this country, you included.
Besides Donald.
No,
I would be very loyal to you, too.
No, you would be loyal, but...
You know why I'd be loyal? Because you have the #1 rated show.
That's right.
If you didn't have the #1 rated show, I would not be loyal to you, Howard.
Well, why do you think Mel is... I mean, Mel's not stupid.
Exactly.
No, I think that has something to do with Mel's loyalty also, but these are minor details. We won't say that.
I don't enjoy doing the show as much anymore because, like the other day... I was watching Chris Rock do his thing on HBO, and I'm going... Gee, what a great forum. He can actually express himself the way he wants to. I have a way I like expressing myself. I can change the way I express myself, but why should I? What's the point?
There's nothing wrong with what
I
you
like
do.
making people laugh. And
well, if you listen to what Chris Rock says on HBO, if you ever said that on your show, they'd fine you another $5 million. But, it's amazing.
Right.
So where do you stop? I mean, Chris Rock is allowed to say, I love Chris Rock, but he's allowed to go all the way on HBO, and you're not allowed to say anything on your show.
We were questioning whether we could play songs that they play for children.
No, I'm watching you censor yourself as I listen to you all the time. I listen to you censor yourself on almost every word. Please don't say this, please don't say that. And then you turn on cable television, and you look at some of the acts that they're doing on cable. It's just amazing.
Well, Ashcroft's announced he is going to, in a time when the FBI can't talk to the CIA, he's going to take FBI funds. The FBI can't talk to the CIA. He's going to take FBI funds for the FBI and make a special division to go after pornographers like HBO. So soon you won't even be able to watch that.
Thank goodness the FBI has the country under control.
So who are you going to vote for?
I'll let you know when I make a decision. I'll tell you what. I will let you know. I'm sorry to. I'm very, very disappointed that this country is bogged down in Iraq, and North Korea is making nuclear missiles.
Yeah, so what's going on
we go to North Korea, and we say, are you making nuclear... everyone else tries to deny, oh, no, we're not. North Korea say, yeah, we are. What are you going to do about it?
We went to Iraq.
And Bush says, well, nothing, please, nothing. And yet we go into Iraq where, hey, I'm not a fan of Saddam Hussein, but let me tell you, if you were a terrorist, he would kill you. He didn't want terrorists in his country.
So based on what you're saying, why would you vote for Bush?
Well, I might not. But I haven't made up my mind 100%. He has been good. Howard, he has been good from the standpoint of guys like me that pay taxes.
Yeah, but can I ask you something?
Guys like you that pay taxes. He has been good to a lot of people about taxes.
But when Bill Clinton was in office, did you really suffer economically? No, you had boom years.
No, it was good years.
So the point is, you didn't pay that.
You can do well under either.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm having my best year, but you know why? It's called interest rates. I have low interest rates, and people are buying housing like they've never bought it before. But if interest rates go up, it's all off. Then I'll call you back and say I was only kidding. Because interest rates are keeping the economy going.
Interest rates will go up after the election.
I think after the election, you can see the signs of it now, but I think after the election, interest rates go up, the entire housing market, everything else is going to come to a halt.
So is Melania getting insecure because you're getting more and more famous in the show?
No, she's great.
Come on.
She's great. She's probably the most secure person I know, unlike guys like you and I.
Well, tell you what, man. Can you believe you're a television success?
No, I didn't. I cannot. Of all the, let's call this a business deal, because with me, sort of everything's a business deal. Of all the business deals and all the deals I've ever made, this is the craziest.
Hey, take this one phone call. Some guy says he disagrees with who you chose. I don't even know how to.
I don't know why or how you made the decision.
You up for taking a phone call or two?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get this going. This equipment's very difficult for me. Who is this guy? Andrew, go ahead.
Big fan.
Hey.
I didn't disagree with who Donald picked, but it's kind of a joke that he goes from selling lemonade and he's going to oversee the building of a 100-story tower in Chicago.
No,
I think it was too much.
But the dude.
Well, the lemonade was really just a concept. And what we did is the first show was lemonade, because the first business thing you do in your life, like Me Too, is when you're 5 years old, you sell lemonade in front of your house with your parents standing over your shoulder, hopefully. And I hated that task. Mark Burnett liked it, and I think Mark Burnett was right, because people really related to it, and it was the first task. Then after that, we had sophisticated advertising campaigns and a lot of other things.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, actually. That's the one I saw. Zolar, you're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Trump, it is an honor to speak to you, sir.
Well, thank you.
The show is an ultimate success. I watched every one of them.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much.
In a hypothetical situation, I mean, saying you're not involved with Melania and there was no ethical backgrounds for business and whatnot, how many of those bitches you think you could have banged?
Well, I'll tell you.
Good question.
I even like I love the thought. I will tell you that.
Yeah,
because they were attractive. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't put some of the bodies on those girls when they were sitting.
You didn't get a vibe from any of them. Could you have nailed one of them at least?
We like to say that they were hired just exclusively for their brain.
Now, Howard, don't hang up on me, because I'd like to say that I'm an uneducated individual, but I try to find myself well-read. I would love to be a contestant on your next show, even though I wasn't able to sign up because of my status right now. I'm working 15 hours a day trying to support 3 children, sir.
Well, that's great.
May I please be the one on your show?
That's great. Send it in, NBC.com. You know, we had for the first show, the first sign that we had that it was going to be a success, we had 215,000 people apply, which is like a record in television. This show, we have over 1 million job applicants. So it's been an amazing phenomenon. So why don't you send in your paper? You'll be one of a million.
Hey, Ryan, what is it? Last question for Donald Trump.
Hey, Don, wanted to ask you about a
painting, certain painting that you got down in Mar-a-Lago in the club there.
Right.
You know the one I'm talking about?
I think so. The one of me?
Yeah, the one of you.
Where
Howard, did you see it when you were down there?
The painting of Donald?
I don't know. Yeah. You know, I was really kind of overwhelmed.
It's a big 10-foot painting of him with the one foot up on a table. He's got like a tennis outfit. I saw it. I walked around the corner. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Wait, listen.
It's a little wild painting.
It's kind of paid off for him. I mean, I was there. They were pouring me water. They go, "Would you like some Evian?" I mean, Mr. Trump water. I go, "Oh, give me some Mr. Trump water." It's a big giant picture of the Donald on the
water.
On the big water bottle.
It's a pretty crazy place.
What? You know what I'm saying? It works for you.
Well, it has worked. I've had a lot of fun, too. You know, I enjoy things.
Did you sit for that painting, though?
You know, well, I sat, but this just shows you how devastating the clock can be. This was a painting that was taken a long time ago. And I think the artist did a little artistic freedom. Like I said, I want those hips smaller.
Right.
I want the shoulders bigger.
Hey, it's a painting. Who cares? Captain Jenks, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Howard. Good morning, Donald.
Hi.
I have two questions for you. One, when Howard did the joke that he played on everybody on April Fool's Day, you were right on Imus's show.
I was.
And yeah.
Huh.
I'm just curious.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Now, Donald, you can go on any show you want, of course.
Right.
Why Imus, who has been so... He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And you've said it yourself, he's a dickhead.
Well, you know, it's on MSNBC, and he really has been a big support. He loves the show.
Yeah,
but
now he loves you because you're on top, but when you were down, the guy wasn't there for you.
Imus is a horrible and shameful person.
I'm surprised.
Huh. Well, you know, he loves the show. Anyway, go ahead.
Second question, do you need a resident phony phone call to work for you?
A resident what?
Yeah, do you need a guy to make phony phone calls for you?
Yeah, that's what
this guy's the best.
That's just what I'm looking for, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, but that whole thing with Imus, I'm surprised at that.
What, that I did it?
Yeah, I really am. I mean, you've talked to me privately about what a skunk he is.
Now, I'll tell you what, Howard, I don't have a chance to listen to radio very much, but he's really been a big supporter of the show. He loves the show. He watches the show.
So what? Everyone's a supporter of the show.
And Howard, you'll understand this. You have to stick with people that are loyal to you. You have to stick. Now, whether or not he's loyal now because I have sort of a hot period going. Yeah. I have hot periods. I have cold periods.
He was nasty to you in terms of... He was hitting below the belt. He was saying some unfair things.
He was nasty in terms of the Ivana thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everybody knew she was just out to get your money.
Well, nah, she wasn't. She was good. She was good.
All right, I'm just kidding.
She was a nice woman who's truly trying to utilize the name. What I don't understand about Ivana, she gets remarried. The name changes with the husband. I guess, at some point he said, you got to stop this Trump stuff. She then gets divorced and she goes back to the name Trump.
Yeah.
I say, why don't you keep your old name, your nice Italian name? But it didn't work.
Hey, listen, guess who I got here? Rebecca Romaine. I got to take a break.
She's great. Well, listen, I'm very sorry about what happened with her, but it sounds like they're getting along just fine.
Oh, believe me, those two will be fine.
They seem to be going on.
Yeah, they seem to be somehow managed.
I saw her on the Jay Leno show the other night. She looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel her up right here on the air.
Well, you've done very well with her. Perhaps you caused her divorce. I don't know.
No.
Huh?
No.
I'll tell you what. They're two nice people. They're both very talented. They look great, and I think they'll have no trouble.
Which is more important, talent or looking great?
I think looking great.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Even the Donald knows that.
Everyone knows that.
I've had both, and I take the looking great.
Could there be a better salesman in your corner than Donald Trump? I mean, listen, Rebecca's just here by luck, and she gets complimented by this guy.
That's right.
And it's Donald, could you say something positive about Artie Lang?
Well, Artie, I'm going to have to think about that one.
No, the first time you're tongue-tied.
Mr. Trump.
Artie, I'm tongue-tied.
Mr. Trump, I want to congratulate you on the fantastic success of your show.
Thank you.
And I always love when you call, and you know that.
Well, and say hello to Rebecca.
I will.
Have a good time.
And good luck with your book.
Good. Yeah, it's doing great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
That is Mr. Donald Trump.
I just need the other day I saw Artie Lang, who was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a fantastic comedian.
I need to go prepare myself for my grilling of Rebecca Romaine. Stay mouse.
Surprise, motherfucker.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. When they gaze upon Yosemite, towering sequoias, they delivered a swift and sweeping. It was swift and it was sweeping like nobody's ever seen anything happen. Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
What the fuck? All right, I see Donald Trump is here, but I got to take a break first.
Did we ever get you were Asian?
That was Howard.
We'll take a break. We'll be back right after these words with Donald Trump.
Here's Captain.
Donald Trump is here.
Yeah.
Old friend of the show.
Big star.
Big star, big TV star. Reality television has spawned a whole new race of stars. You got Paris Hilton, Donald Trump, people whose everyday lives
The
are more...
Survivor people? Yeah.
whose everyday lives are more interesting than really what any Hollywood writer could create.
That's what it seems.
And Donald Trump has captured the public's imagination yet again. There he is, a real TV star, number one guy. There you
He's
go.
saying something, but we can't hear him.
Who can hear? Wait, get in front of the microphone so we hear what you're saying. Sounds important, though.
Everything he says must be important.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Mr. Trump, I was very proud of you. I saw you on a lot of shows talking about the fact that the war in Iraq is going horribly wrong. A lot of people, especially in your position, a wealthy guy who could do very well with the Bush administration, you're speaking out because you care that people are dying over there, young people, and perhaps for nothing.
Well, it's a horror. I mean, the war is a total disaster. It seems to me to be almost worse than Vietnam. And I happen to like the Bush policies on taxation. I really believe in them. And I not just because you pay less, the fact is you have more incentive to do things. And I think it's good. It puts people to work. But the war is a total catastrophe. And if anything brings him down, that's going to bring him down. That and perhaps you and the FCC.
Yeah.
And Donald put on his headphones because he'll never hear a word I'm saying.
And stem cell research. Yeah, Robin wants you to put your headphones on because you'll never hear Robin. And if you miss Robin, you've missed it all.
Well, no, I was just going to say that. I was thinking the other day, this is a war that George Bush wouldn't have fought in himself.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Well, one of the greatest spin jobs I've ever seen, I've watched a lot of spin over the years, is what they did with Kerry. They made Kerry, who, whether he was a great hero or a modest hero or at least just went and got shot at.
He was a brave guy.
They made him into a guy who was a total war failure, and Bush is this great war hero. And, you know, it's sort of amazing. I thought it was one of, you know, the Swift boat.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the greatest jobs I've ever seen. So they made Kerry, who really went into this whole thing as a war hero, and he's coming out like somebody that's really damaged goods. And Bush, who obviously wasn't a war hero, is looking awfully good. So
he's looking like a war hero.
It's sort of interesting.
Bush, Ashcroft, Cheney, all of them. 7 deferments, 5 deferments for Cheney, 7 for Ashcroft. Bush clearly got a privilege from his father. Fine. If I had a father who could give me some privilege, I'd admit it and say, hey, I was lucky. I got out of this horrible war, the Vietnam War. He hasn't learned from history, though. He supports the Vietnam War. He says, in theory, it was a good war.
Well, that's not so good. I mean, most people are... You have to be pretty hardline to now still support the Vietnam War.
Would you fire Bush?
Well, I love his tax policy, and I hate his war. So I guess, you know, we'll have to see what happens.
Stem cell research? What do you think?
He wouldn't be the first to be
totally in favor of it. I mean, totally in favor.
Environmentally?
I mean, I have so many people, they're sick. I know people that are dying. With proper stem cell research, they could live. I mean, it just doesn't make sense what they're doing.
It's saying to hell with science, Jesus first, science later, and that's scary.
It's a problem.
It's
a problem.
Well,
so where do you vote if this is how you're feeling?
Well, I don't want to talk about where I'm going to vote.
What do you think he's going to do? You're going to vote for Kerry. Why don't you want to talk about it?
You know, I don't, because honestly...
You've never been afraid.
Honestly, no, I'm not at all. Although it's a pretty tough world out there right now, I must tell you, in terms of...
But everyone said under Clinton, a guy like you, wealthy man, would do badly. Did you do poorly under Clinton?
It's a funny thing. The Republicans are known for business, and yet the economy always seems to be tanked with the Republicans.
Right.
And Clinton, who's a member of one of my golf clubs and who happens to be a really good guy, but you don't think of him as a business guy, the economy was never stronger.
He was a strong president.
The thing I like about this economy is low interest rates. But if interest rates go up, the entire real estate market collapses, the world collapses, and, you know...
Isn't it true that after the election, interest rates will go up?
I think probably that's so. Right now, they're very low. You know, the real estate in New York, as you know from being in New York...
It's huge right now.
It's through the roof. It's never been... I've been here doing this. I refuse to tell you how much because my girlfriend would leave me if I said how many years I've been doing this. Okay?
Right, yeah.
But I've been doing this for a long time, real estate. And it's the single best market I've ever seen. And that, to a large extent, is that the city is perceived as doing well. I think Bloomberg's doing a very good job.
He's a great mayor.
I think he's doing a great job.
Right.
But beyond that, and I was with him last night, interest rates.
What were you guys doing last night?
We went to Barbara Walters' sort of semi-retirement party.
I was going to say, yeah, she's having more farewell parties.
Well, she's had a lot. She's great, though.
Hot chicks there, or that's kind of not the place for hot chicks?
No, and it didn't matter because I was with Melania.
Well, yeah, I know.
She's my hot chick.
Right, of course, but, I just want to know if there were hot chicks there. So, who does the mayor see? Is this chick hot, or is she not that hot?
She's great.
She's
Diana,
hot?
she's great.
I don't even know her.
Very smart, very attractive, and she's terrific.
And she's much taller than him.
She's taller. She's probably 6 feet tall, but she's...
Do they have a wild sex life, the mayor?
I think they do, yes.
More than the missionary position?
I think they really have a great sex life. Well, you know what? She's beautiful, and he's doing a terrific job, so he has to feel good about himself.
This fiancée of yours, Melania, she must be terrific in bed, because for her to hold on to you all these years, she's got to be doing something special. What's her secret?
Well, she is terrific in bed. Now, she wouldn't want me to say that, but she is. But
is it the amount of positions she knows, or is it the oral? What is it?
Well,
I mean, specifically.
She's just overall terrific. I think most important.
Let me ask you this, and with all due respect.
But is he going to get married? I mean, is she going to be the perennial fiancé?
Yeah, he's going to get married.
No. When are you getting married?
Well, sometime early next year, probably.
You set a date?
No, we haven't set a date.
Are you playing her, or are you really going to marry her?
No, I'm really gonna, I don't have the courage to play her.
But your prenup, is it going to be like Britney Spears? She gets $300,000 a year for every year that she's with you, or is it going to be less?
We're going to have a prenup. You have to have a prenup.
Have you started working on it?
I've written too many books, Robin, about prenups not to have one. I said
you have to. You have to.
No, I have men that are destroyed. I have friends that are very smart, killer people that people are afraid to even deal with them. And yet a wife, 5'2", 100 pounds, destroys them.
Me too. I know guys who I have known for years, and they get married and don't sign a prenup. They're afraid to ask their women for a prenup.
I was just reading in the paper that one of the Gottis is having problems with his wife. I said, the only people who are not afraid of monsters seems to be the wives.
Yeah. I mean,
hot chick. Why? By the way, I've seen that many times.
Explain to me, you're a good judge of human character. Why is a man afraid to ask for a prenup? I mean, you will say to Melania, how do you do it?
Well, it's a very tough thing. Actually, doing business deals is sort of natural and easy as far as I'm concerned. Doing prenups is a whole different deal.
Because it's emotional.
You're in love with someone, you go up to her, you tell her how in love you are. In the case, Melania, I love you very much. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Gorgeous.
And we're going to be together forever. But just in case it doesn't work out, would you please immediately sign this? So it's an unattractive instrument.
But wait a second. If Melania says to you, all right, what do you propose? And you probably say, okay, talk to my accountant. He's got a proposal for you, right? You're not going to get into the nitty-gritty with her, are you?
I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty.
And do you tell her to get a lawyer?
You have to have a lawyer. If she doesn't have a lawyer, which of course is a disaster because all of a sudden she'll show up with his killer. But if she doesn't have a lawyer, it doesn't hold up.
So you sit down and you say, okay, Melania, we'll give you $300,000 a year for every year you're with me. If we should have kids, you get a bonus.
What do you pay for a kid?
What do you pay for a kid? Give me a ballpark.
I'll give them whatever they want.
Right. And then she comes back and says, not enough.
Right.
Is that a signal to head for the hills?
Well, it's two ways. There are women that won't sign prenup and they have good intentions. And there are women that won't sign prenups and they have bad intentions. Now, I know a woman who's totally in love with the guy. She refuses to sign. She said, our marriage is more than that. I honestly don't believe she's trying to rip him off.
Okay.
She just feels that it's a horrible thing. I don't think my mother...
Should the guy marry her, though?
My father, many, many years ago, he was 93 when he passed away. Many years ago, he had a 63-year marriage to a wonderful woman named my mother.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
And I heard that he asked her for a prenup. Can you believe this? This is like,
He did. Yeah. He was way ahead of his time.
Like 70 years ago.
He asked her for a prenup?
Well, he was great. He was ahead of his time. And he asked her for a prenup. And she threw him out of the house. She said, well, that actually didn't even throw him out of the house because they didn't live together for those days. In those days, you get married and then you move in together. But he actually asked her for a prenup, and she would say she had good intentions.
So you haven't begun the negotiation with Melania yet?
I haven't actually begun that negotiation.
Right, but she's picked out her lawyer, and then that will begin.
No, she hasn't even picked out a lawyer. But
I admire this, because, quite frankly, the marriage laws are somewhat archaic. A guy like you've built up wealth, you've worked hard. I see you hustle every day. Right. No reason, just because you fell in love and then out of love, you should have to give up all your money.
You don't want her to be destitute if you should leave.
Well, sure you do. Why not? Let her miss this.
I have a friend who's a total, brutal killer. Okay? Go ahead. He just kills everyone. He's a very rich guy, and he's had a couple of horrible marriages.
Right.
So now he meets a new woman, and he tells me, Donald, This is the one. Now, his last one ripped him off for about 50.
Right.
50 million.
The 50 big
The
one.
last one.
You know, she was married to him for 2 years. She made him dinner every once in a while. Most of the time, she wasn't making dinner because she was out screwing around.
Right.
And then she
Oh,
gets
you're
$50 million.
kidding.
$50
million? Who is that guy? I
52
want
years.
to meet him.
Let Robin
He's
meet him.
actually a well-known guy. But so now he calls me. He said, Donald, I've met the one. Of course, he's told me this now 4 times.
How
you know,
stupid.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, I know she's the one. I know she's great. By the way, where does she come from? She's a Las Vegas showgirl. Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Bad sign. So I said, you're going to get a prenup, right? He said, Don, honestly, I don't need it. This is one. Now, here's a guy who's a genius businessman, but he's a schmuck.
Barracuda.
What
He's a
happens to
schmuck.
guys at home?
Well,
So
what
what do you
happened,
say to
Robin,
him?
he married her 2 years ago. And about a week and a half ago, he told me, I said, how's she doing? That son of a bitch. Okay.
The guy probably
It's
got
over.
laid in a month.
It's
Howard.
over already.
It's over already.
So I said, by the way, tell me yes. Tell me you had a prenup. He said, I don't. I have to go through it again. So,
Oh, my God.
so I don't know. Something happens to men. I've seen it. Hey, look, I happen to love Jack Welch.
Right.
Great businessman.
Right.
He had a very unusual prenup. He's married for 10 years to a woman. The prenup expires in 10 years, and he leaves her in the 11th year. And she sues him for $500 million.
Yeah.
Why did he leave her the...
I don't know. You would have thought he would have left after 9.5.
People
Right?
speculate...
Yeah, you got to know something's wrong at that point.
People speculate that your marriage to Marla Maples, you pulled the plug on it because your divorce, your prenup kicked into a higher amount, so you had to divorce her before a certain amount of time.
Well, actually, with Marla, it has been written. Of course, I would never say this.
Right.
That Marla didn't want to have a long prenup, and I think for good reason. She thought it was a terrible instrument, also not necessary. But prior to the end of the term, there are those that say that what I did is said sayonara. So unless you pick somebody that's of the quality of your mother where you have total confidence, I mean, you're really, like the Jack Welch thing. That would be...
So you pulled the plug in time so you didn't kick into a higher amount of money.
Well, I don't want to say that with respect to Marla, and Marla was terrific. You know, she was really terrific. Wasn't for me, but she was terrific.
But why do you build
I told you that at your wedding.
Robin, Howard destroyed me at my wedding.
I know that. We all know that
worst
story.
I knew.
But let me ask you, why
There
do
wasn't a dry eye in the house.
why do you put these incentives into the prenup? I mean, that too sort of smacks of trying to build in longevity.
Robin, it is a negotiation. I mean, these people aren't morons. Okay, you know,
their lawyers aren't anyway.
And their lawyers are definitely not. We found that out over the years.
That's right.
But, you know, the prenup is a very vital instrument. I don't like the kind that terminate because, you know, when you have like a prenup that terminates in 3 or 4 years, and I know people that sign 3 or 4 years, it means you're getting divorced in 3 or 4 years, unless the guy is an idiot.
Or if you build in a higher amount, you're getting divorced in 9
Well,
instead of, you know.
yeah, I had one where a friend of mine had a 3-year cheap prenup, and after 3 years, it kicked into millions.
Like a balloon situation.
Okay?
So who the hell's going to stay with somebody?
Well, he did sayonara at 2.5, 2.9.
And by the way, I think this marriage of yours will be completely different. I believe it will last 6 years.
Oh, 6 years of a life.
I appreciate it. Well, that's romantic.
That's romantic. Well, you have a lot of dating left in you.
No.
But let me
You know,
ask
he
you
was
something.
wrong on Marl, though. He predicted 3 months. And the sad part was he predicted it on television my wedding night. Being a maniac that I am, I go back to the suite, and instead of making love, I decide, let's turn on the television, because we had more paparazzi that night than you've ever seen.
You had a lot of photographers.
Even by your standard, that was a record.
A record.
There were thousands. I mean, you never saw...
Yeah.
So... I say, I want to see what it looks like on television. Okay,
Right.
This is not off to a good start. You know?
Right.
And I say, lay in bed. So I turn on the television, and who do they see?
Me.
I say, oh, it's Howard.
Right.
And first of all...
What did he say?
All of America said, oh, it's
Oh, it was
Howard.
the worst. Well, I didn't like it. She cried the entire week over what he said. It was true. He said there wasn't a wet eye in the house. That was what. In other words, nobody was crying.
Right.
This was
No
not
sentiment at all.
There was no
Right.
sentiment at all. Nice. And he said, I give the marriage 3 months. So these were the two statements that I went to bed with my...
On your first night.
Well, hey, listen.
This was not good. But in the meantime, you had a good time. You sat right next to O.J. Simpson.
O.J. and I had a great night.
You found out that O.J., just prior to the killing.
Right. O.J.'s a great guy, aside from the fact that he's a killer.
He's good at a party.
The wedding put
you
him
don't see
overboard.
O.J. anymore, do you?
You know, I'll tell you.
He's a member of Mar-a-Lago.
I know a lot about O.J. Yeah. He was a member of Mar-a-Lago. He's not a member anymore. O.J. was perhaps the most guilty human being I've ever seen. Okay?
Right, no doubt.
I mean, if the glove doesn't fit, here's a guy puts a glove on. I can do that too. He takes a glove that obviously fits, and he's pulling it. And this stupid Marcia Clark, I mean, she has to be the worst.
That's true. They didn't do their job.
Now, I'm not sure that anybody could have convinced that particular jury.
Right,
you know?
I agree.
But he takes his glove, puts it on, and he starts going like this. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And, I mean, that was just a whole disgraceful thing.
Yes.
But O.J. Simpson sat right next to Howard Stern in one of the great pictures that I have, as you know, because you used it in the back
of my book. That's right.
He had to get a sign-off for Donald Trump. I did. Because the book was a big success.
That's right.
I won 10%.
You gave me that for free.
Getting away with murder.
I'll tell you a story about O.J. that was interesting. Prior to the killing, prior to the time he killed his wife.
Did he talk to you about it?
I can't believe every once in a while.
Double homicide.
It's
hard to believe that guy killed someone.
That we even have to talk about it.
But prior to
the killing, I was with somebody, and O.J. came up. I was at a table in California at a certain restaurant, the Ivy, which I'm sure you know very well.
Yes.
And I'm sitting having dinner, and O.J. came up to me, and he was talking. I was with very important people, big bankers, nobody that you know, big bankers. And we're sitting there were 6 of us. And O.J. came up, and he was talking to us for about 3 minutes. And Nicole was with her mother, I think, and she came over, and she started screaming at him, "Get over to the table, what the hell you..." She was rough, okay, in all fairness.
Okay.
So he decided, obviously, to kill her.
Right. It might have been right at the Ivy that he decided.
She was very tough. She came over, and she really embarrassed him.
Yeah.
She was screaming at him, "Get over here." She didn't care. And that was before The Apprentice, so she didn't give a damn about me. Now she'll be kissing my ass.
Right. You never
now I'm the biggest star on television. She'll kiss my ass. But you know what?
You would never kill one of your ex-wives, would you?
You might order. I could think about it.
It would almost be that absurd to think that O.J. killed his ex-wife, and like it would be that absurd to think that you killed your ex-wife. I read that in the paper. In other words, it was out of character. It seemed for nice O.J.
It seemed out of character, other than all of the beatings that were called into the police station and later retracted. There were a number of them, Howard, like about 6 times.
So get back to your relationship.
You know,
with
she
Melania.
did call 6 times and screamed, "Help, help, help! He's beating me up! He's beating me up!"
Played it many
and then
times.
the next day they dropped the charges. So
Right.
That's not totally normal. That's not Fred and Mary Trump. Do you agree?
Go back to, yes, I do agree. Let's go back to you and Melania, though, for 1 second before we move on to The Apprentice. So you're going to get married, and this woman has captivated you. I mean, it's not easy, because she is capturing your heart.
Yeah,
and
it's
you got a lot of options.
I have a lot of
she must be something really special, because you had the pick of everybody.
A friend of mine said to me, I know a guy gets a lot of poontang, not as much as Mr. Trump, but a lot of poontang. And he says to me, "I'm getting married." I go, what are you, crazy? He says, "Every morning I wake up, she's giving me oral." Now, I said, then I understand.
Yeah.
She might be the biggest pain in the ass, but I understand.
You know, the National Enquirer, Howard, did a story on me not so long ago that in the history of the world, nobody has gotten more beautiful women than I have, okay? Which is a great compliment.
Yes.
In fact, many years ago, I was on your show, and you were putting all of them up in posters, remember?
Yeah, I had a chart.
How was this one? How was that one?
And by the way, I'm sure I missed thousands.
You missed a lot of them. Actually, some of the ones on the chart were not victims.
Understood.
But you missed quite a few. But that's okay. So that was a great compliment. So Melania must have something. And you know what it is? I believe in the woman behind the man and the man behind the woman, but I believe in the woman behind the man. I mean, I think women don't get enough.
I've never done it with the woman behind me, but go ahead.
If you think, take a look at Andre Agassi. He's with Brooke Shields.
Disaster.
Life is a mess, right?
He was the #1 player in the world. He meets Brooke Shields, falls in love, marries her. He goes to 292 player. You know about that.
She ruined him.
Well, something happened. I mean, they say maybe an affair or this, that. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, who knows? The
You
guy
don't
that
know.
died on the program. Who the hell knows what happened, right? But he goes from #1 to #292. He's a disaster. I watched him play at the U.S. Open 3 years ago.
Brilliant? Yeah.
3 years ago, he got wiped out in the first rounds. He didn't even get a point. It was like terrible.
Right.
I said, isn't it sad he's gotten old?
Right.
All of a sudden, he meets Steffi Graf.
Now he's great.
He's the #1 player in the world. I mean,
Well, would you want to stay home with Steffi Graf?
Well, you know,
She's
Steffi
probably
Graf,
motivated
No,
now.
Steffi Graf is a great girl, and she's one of the greatest.
She's not hot, though.
She's got one of the greatest bodies ever.
But what about the face?
Honestly, Robin.
Face. All right, body's a 10. What's the face?
Well, you never get to the face because the body's so good.
You wouldn't go out with Steffi Graf. She's not hot enough for
Well,
you.
you know, it doesn't matter. The point is that he...
But you're avoiding the question about Melania.
Yes. Here's what happened.
Is it a sexual... I mean, did she put out like
everything.
never before?
Well, it's everything. It's not sexual. It's the friendship. It's
Is it the
sexual,
oral?
It's everything.
Guys always love it. Are you an oral
You know
guy?
what
I'm not a
happens?
big fan of that.
This show is always a disaster.
You're in a corner now. Answer the question.
Listen, Robin, other than the fact that this guy's a friend of mine, this show's always a disaster.
Be straight with
The
me.
last time Howard said, everything gets really, like, I always get in trouble in this show. And I try and be as nice as I can. I try and avoid his crazy questions.
But you've always been open.
Let me tell you last time.
Yeah.
Howard said very clearly, does Melania have cellulite? Now, Melania is one of the greatest bodies I've ever seen.
I've seen it up close.
It's one of the greats.
Yeah.
Does she have... And I said... Melania doesn't even know what the word cellulite means. Now, I said that very clearly. I thought that was wonderful.
Just a throwaway.
One of the newspapers in New York did a whole big story on the fact that Melania doesn't know what cellulite is.
Like she's stupid or
like
something.
she's a dummy, okay?
No.
And this is not a dummy. So I get killed. So almost no matter what you say on the show, when they analyze everything I've said today, I'm sure there are 4 or 5 things where I'm
Here, let me word it a different way. Is oral sex important to you?
That was a high-pitched error.
Seriously, it's man to man. And I've had this discussion with many men.
No, it's not important to me.
It's not.
You had Kylie Bax on this show.
That's a piece of ass I could not
Yeah,
get.
that's right. And she was a friend of mine.
Did you do her? Be honest.
I don't want to tell you. It was
All right, that's a yes.
Look, it was the single worst performance I've ever seen. I mean, I think you destroyed her in the show when she said she liked the anal and the this and the that.
You're not into anal.
Did you do that with
I'm
her?
not into anal.
Oh.
No, I didn't do that with her.
You got Kylie Bax, you son of a gun.
No, I didn't say that.
I want that.
But she was a friend of mine, and she was a nice girl, and all of a sudden I see her in the show talking about anal and this and Marcus.
She took a calculated risk. It was wrong.
It was on the other night,
That's
in
right.
fact. You played it. They played it
and you don't
on
see
E!
her anymore, do you?
It ruined her.
No, it was like, I can't believe this.
She took one for the team. So
she gave you some really bad answers.
Yes. Talk to me about what's going on now with The Apprentice. You now have 3 guys. You were the original, but you have 2 other guys, I should say, who are attempting to steal your thunder. One of them came in here the other day, Mark Cuban, billionaire.
Right.
He's got a show on now that's very similar to The Apprentice.
Benefactor.
With no ratings.
With no ratings.
Right. Doing very badly.
And then you got this other guy coming out, the other billionaire.
Who's that?
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson.
He's actually a good guy. I think that show has a better shot. Here's what
Virgin
happens.
guy.
We have a show. Did you see the ratings this week?
Yes.
Yes.
What was it rated?
You were #1.
We were the #1 show.
Right.
And, in fact, the New York Times did a front-page story this Sunday that The Apprentice was not only #1, it was #1 since May. In other words, it's the #1 show since May, the last Thursday.
Gary Bababooey, who's a big fan of your show, says that the 90-minute format, too long. He loves it, but he'd rather see an hour. What do you think about it?
What they did is they opened to 90 minutes only for one reason, because it gets good ratings.
Right.
And it did phenomenally. And frankly, they would like to have it on for 2 hours. You know, on Saturday night, they put a 2-hour version on, and Saturday night is the biggest Saturday night that NBC has had in over a year.
So with that kind of clout, you pressured NBC into paying you more money, did you not?
I did.
All right. So now you're getting what, $1 million an episode?
Much more than that, but let me tell
more than $1 million. Is that true?
Yes. Listen, Howard. Here's
How is that,
let me tell you.
Now,
why.
did you see?
Robin,
But
Robin, let me tell you the economics, and then you'll understand.
You're saying you're getting Schwimmer money?
I'm getting good money, but you know what? NBC, Jeff Zucker is so smart and so tough and so good that it's very hard to get money from.
No. I'm saying $1 million to pay you $1 million.
That's
not a lot
much.
of money if considering what they get in advertising.
They're going to make $1 billion.
But he didn't get $1 million. Go on.
Okay,
and tell us.
let me explain. Let me explain what happened. I signed the first one. Everyone thought it would be off and, would do fine. It would maybe get a couple. And, then Trump goes back to building buildings in Manhattan and having a lot of fun.
And having a good life, yes.
And, it's good. It's fine. And they paid me peanuts.
Okay.
But the show went to #1.
Right.
And now they said, please, we beg you, let's do more. This is very, very good. So this was a little bit of a surprise. It opened strong. It opened at #10. It went to 8 and 5 and 4.
It became very
2,
popular.
And 1. And the last show, the live show, was 41.5 million people watched. The Super Bowl beat it, okay? That was it.
Right.
So it was this monster show. So, people drop to their knees and they say, please, let's do more. So
you said, I want more money.
Now, here's what happened. I said, I'll do more. I read an article where the Friends people get $2 million an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Rob?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to Jeff Zucker and everybody at NBC, I'll do it, but I want Friends-type money.
Right. I think that's reasonable.
Right. And they said, well, maybe we can work something like that out. And they said they get $2 million an episode. I said, no. There's 6 of them.
Right.
That get $2 million an episode.
There's one of you.
And there's one of me.
You want $12 million an episode.
Well, And then I said, so there's 6 of them, so that's 12, right? I'm thinking like Howard thinks, because I hear he has one of the great contracts in history. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm rolling.
Then I said, they said, well, that's ridiculous. How dare you suggest that? Then I said, well, wait a minute. Let's go a little further. My ratings are higher than Friends now by a lot. And the other thing is it's an hour program. And Friends, as you know, is a half hour.
That's right.
And you know who told me that one? I have a golf pro who's mentally retarded. I mean, he's like really not a smart guy.
Right.
And I'm playing golf, and I'm thinking about what am I going to tell NBC. And this golf pro comes up to me, and he tells me, yeah, but your show's an hour, and Friends is a half hour. He's obviously a Friends watcher.
And there are 6 people they pay.
Yeah. So they pay 6 people $2 million apiece for a half-hour show. I'm one person. And I have an hour show, and I have higher ratings than they do.
And you don't even have to have writers.
So I said...
I'm saying I bet the production costs of your show are less.
When I told him, I said, so I should be paid $24 million an episode. I didn't get it.
You didn't get $24 million.
All right. I didn't get even
now,
close.
Mark Cuban is this guy from the other show. I don't even know the name of it. What is the name of it? Benefactor. Okay. So did you see page 6 today? He came out, he blasted you.
Let me tell you.
He says you need the money.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you about Mark Cuban. I think he needs the money because this guy, just so you understand, and according to Forbes, which does the wealth, I'm a much richer guy than Mark Cuban. He
claims that you lie about your wealth. He says you claim that you're worth $1.3 billion. You're not even worth that.
No, I claim I'm worth $6 billion, and Forbes claims I'm worth $2.5 billion. But let me tell you about Mark Cuban.
Right.
Mark Cuban is trying to get publicity because his show is failing so badly.
Right. So he's using you. He's using you.
Everybody uses me. Women use me. You use me. Mark Cuban uses me.
I use you.
No, actually.
All right. I do use you.
There's no users in this.
I'm a ratings machine. Howard's going to get great ratings.
That's right.
But no, Mark Cuban, maybe he needs the money. I don't know why he's doing it, because there's no way that this show can be successful. Now, wait a minute.
But why disparage you?
Why he gets publicity when he disparages?
But is it true that you need... He claims, this is what he claims, that
let me tell you,
Donald Trump...
Howard, excuse me. Before you say it.
Yeah.
He said that Donald Trump's not as good a businessman as you think. Okay, and he mentioned 4 deals.
Right.
One is Trump Ice. It's the hottest water there is. It's Trump Ice. It's water. It's
I drink Trump water.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a very successful thing. It just launched. She said it's a failure. I said, how's it? The other is Trump Online University. Last week I filed to do possibly an online university.
So you haven't done it yet?
No, he said it's a failure. And I said, we just applied. The other thing he said was a failure was Trump World Magazine.
Right. Which is just about to launch.
Excuse me, we launched tonight. We haven't even gone out yet.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
a failure already.
And by the way, it's going to be a success. So he mentions the stuff. He doesn't mention my real estate in New York, which is through the roof, which is the big stuff, by the way. I'm the biggest.
He claimed that you don't own those buildings. He says that you're like a real estate broker. They just stick your name on it. This is what he said to me. I was shocked.
Howard, I own the buildings. Those are your.
I've been in your helicopter.
Do
you own all of the buildings that have?
No, I own large percentages of the buildings.
Right.
Let me tell you. No, because I have partners put up money. I mean, I like people to put up money. Why should I put it up?
I just wanted to make that clear.
But you know,
he said you were the janitor of those buildings.
Yes.
That you were really not the owner.
You really cleaned the buildings.
You just cleaned the buildings to get a percentage.
Good line, but let me tell you, Mark is the janitor of ABC, because if you look at what he's doing with the ratings, and actually page 6, which I think is a great page, was wrong on one thing. They showed the ratings for the first week.
Yes.
They didn't show that they were way down for the second week. His first week ratings were abysmal. The second week really went down. So anyway,
it's a disaster.
Now, let me ask one thing though.
The
about
benefactor
your business.
is a disaster.
Right.
Let me ask one thing about your business. What is going on with the casinos?
The casinos have been very good to me over the years. I mean, I've made a lot of money in the casino business.
I've given you a lot of money in the casino
business.
Yeah,
me too, by the way. Over the years, Howard, I've made a lot of money in the casino business. It's been a great investment for me as an entrepreneur. Now what I'm doing is reducing the debt of the casinos, because now you can't buy land in Manhattan. First of all, I have much of it.
Right.
But you can't buy land in Manhattan because it's too expensive. So now what I'm doing is focused on reducing the debt of the casinos. And again, when the casino company was private, I put a lot of financing on, and I took that money and I did a lot of good things.
You are worth minimally $2.3 billion.
Well, Forbes
maybe
says 2.5, but I've always disputed Forbes. But no, I just say Forbes. I don't want to talk about wealth, but Forbes says 2.5.
So you're every bit as rich as Mark Cuban.
Well, he's rated much lower than me.
Thank you. All right, that's all I needed to know.
But my question is, how could you say, I think when the bankruptcy, because we pointed this out the last time you were here, we realized that whatever you do, you say it's the most fantastic. It's the greatest
That's not
thing.
true.
You
No, I don't say that.
You start
Absolutely.
everything.
I don't
Well,
say
it was
that.
fantastic. This was the greatest.
When do I say
have
that?
the
I don't
greatest
say
TV
that. I say
show.
that.
I'm
No,
the
wait a minute.
greatest
Well,
host.
it's true. Excuse me. It's
Absolutely.
true. You know what? I'd say it when it's true. Hey, Robin, I have the hottest show on television. I have the #1 show on television. So why shouldn't I say
Wait
that?
a minute. I just wanted. I couldn't believe it.
She's a very negative person.
Oh, stop it. I couldn't believe it, though, when, I heard that, they were going Chapter 11.
No,
maybe
but
with
that's
it. Wait a minute.
Robin, that's to reduce that. That's called
Wait a
intelligent
minute.
business.
Take it easy, because he says, all right, everybody said, wow, Trump, has to file bankruptcy on his casinos in Atlantic City. And Trump said, yes, this is the greatest thing.
It's true. Actually, it's true. It's true. It's very much like the show. I mean, what am I going to say? I only say good if it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But just as I said, the casinos are a very small part, less than 1% of my net worth. But they're important to me because I've been there for a long time.
Right.
I've made a lot of money with the casinos over a 15-year period, over a 16-year period. I've made a lot of money. But now what I'm doing is making the casinos great. I would be willing to bet. It's less than 1% of my net worth. I would be willing to bet in years to come it's going to be a big portion of my net worth.
Yeah.
And let's see, because I'll be doing this show for many years until
We'll be
start
able to
using
watch.
pains.
Right.
We're not. We'll see.
It's big. Vinny, go ahead. You're on the air with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is on The Apprentice tonight at 9 o'clock on NBC.
And don't call me negative, Don.
You are negative.
Howard,
Yes,
I can't believe you buy this, what he's saying. He's up against, last week, a repeat of CSI beat The Apprentice.
What? But say that again?
The repeat of CSI Las Vegas last week beat The Apprentice.
Donald, go ahead and respond to that.
I'll totally respond.
Respond to this guy riding a bus to work.
He sounds like you.
That's Vinny.
He's on the bus.
By the way, Vinny is a vice president at CBS.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Let me just tell you. The only rating.
Listen.
The only rating that counts. Who is this guy? The only rating that counts, as you know, is the demographic rating. The 18 to 49 is the rating that counts.
So you're not looking at the 12 plus.
No. The rating that matters to everybody and the rating that is considered important is the 18 to 49. And The Apprentice was the highest rated show in the top demographic.
It was the highest rated show in 18 to 49. You dispute that?
Yeah, he's not the #1. I don't have the charts in front of me. The guy is not the #1.
No, you have
Wait
to
a second.
Vinny, you have to get the charts.
If you had Donald Trump's ratings,
you would be crowing.
You would be crowing.
You wouldn't be in a bus.
Howard, we don't need his ratings. You know that last night CSI New York beat Law and Order for the first time ever?
No, we don't know that.
Why would I know that?
And after
I know that?
After I go through a tunnel, I'll tell you.
CSI New York.
What is it, Gary?
I can actually
with the premiere of CSI Vegas.
Go ahead, just talk
I can
over
actually
him.
respond to this.
Yes.
He can't hear us.
The second half hour of the CSI show beat the first half hour of Mr. Trump's show by a very small percentage point. Then Mr. Trump
beat it.
Go ahead. And then at 10, and then actually Donald's show built. By the time it got to the second half hour, it won the 10 o'clock hour.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Vinny,
goodbye,
be honest. You got to be
Goodbye,
honest.
Vinny. Does he work for CBS?
Yes, he does.
But more importantly, Gary, The Apprentice, in terms of the real rating, which is, as you know, the demographic rating, which is what the advertisers go by, was the biggest show since last May, which is the whole deal. So.
Right.
It is a monster. It's definitely a monster.
Thank you. By the way, thank you, Gary. I appreciate that.
That was me not being negative, though.
Are your children...
You're right. That was right. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate
Are your children afraid that you and Melania will get married and have more children?
I think they're petrified. No, I'm only kidding.
I
they
believe
love
they are.
Melania.
But...
They love Melania.
But who wants to split inheritance?
Well, basically, they've never told me that, but if I were one of them, I wouldn't love it.
What are you doing with your children? What are you
Why
doing?
do I want it? I want my share. I want my 1/4, right?
Right.
Yeah, but what are you doing? I mean, are they going to get equal shares?
My children are really well-adjusted children. They're working hard. Don is in the business with me, just graduated from the Wharton School of
Nice kid. I met him.
My daughter is beautiful, Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter...
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
Boy, I would back up the Brinks truck. Introduce me to
who's
her.
going to win that prize?
You are the last person I would introduce.
I wouldn't foul her that bad.
What are you doing?
Come on.
But Ivanka is a great beauty.
Like?
She was a very successful model, and at 18, she stopped cold turkey, went to the Wharton School of Finance, got all A's, and she's been a great student, and she's now going to be starting in the business. And
who's she seeing? Is she seeing a guy?
She's got a boyfriend.
Boy, you must hate him.
Well, it's your daughter. You know the story on daughters, right? And
yeah,
nobody's good enough for your daughter. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it all works.
What's the guy do? White guy?
He's an aristocrat.
Is he a white guy?
From Bedminster, New Jersey. He comes from Bedminster, New Jersey.
Oh, so he's one of the Blue Bloods.
He's a blue blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bedminster, there ain't no black.
Yeah, there's no blacks.
I just built a big golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey, fellas.
So does this guy have his own money?
I have to get that plug in. You know, as long as we mention Bedminster, forget about him. I built
Mr. Trump, does this guy have his own money?
He's got a lot of money from many, many years ago.
His family has money.
So you don't like it. You like a self-made kind of guy.
Well, I like self-made. You know, I wanted to introduce her before this, because this guy's a very nice guy, but I wanted to introduce her to a football player. He's a great guy. He's a great football player. And she looked at me. She said, Dad, he's a football player. I said, are you crazy?
LT?
This guy. No,
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't LT. I love LT. He's a friend of mine, but it wasn't.
But your daughter's a blue blood now. This is where she travels.
My daughter's becoming a blue blood. She's becoming very white shoe. That's true.
You introduced her to me.
I think my daughter looks down on me. She said, oh, my God.
I'll take good care of her. You hook her up with me.
Oh, that would be a good idea. That would be the big story. That would be the big story.
Could you imagine if I was your son-in-law? How much fun would we have?
I don't even want to think.
Everyone in this room is self-made.
We would have fun.
Is it horrible
once I got over the shock. Once I got over the horror of it all.
Would it be horrible for you to see me walking down the aisle with your daughter?
I'd be impressed. If you could do that, I probably would be very impressed with you.
That would be a good
But
move.
I'm still trying to find out what the will says.
Yeah, how much do the kids get?
Well, the kids get...
They get Trump Ice.
And charity gets a lot. Yeah, I'm going to give them Trump Online University.
You're going to give a lot to...
Which hasn't started yet. a to-be-formed corporation.
You're going to give a lot to charity.
I'm going to give a lot to charity, and I'm going to give a lot to kids.
The kids will be set up?
The kids will be set for life.
Now, under the Bush tax plan, Howard...
Yes.
In 10 years, you pay no estate tax.
That's right.
In 11 years, you pay 60%.
But you can take out insurance and
let me
cover
tell
your estate.
I don't know if you've ever thought of this. This plan, 20% every 2 years. At the end of 10 years, during the 8th, 9th, and 10th year, you pay nothing.
Right.
You know that, right?
Right.
Yes.
Zero.
Yes.
If you die 1 day later, the government gets all of your money. So there are going to be a lot of billionaires that are killed by their children.
But wait a second.
Just prior to the night. Prior to the Bush plan.
With the Bush plan, you got to think of this. In 12 years, no country left.
Well, that's a bigger problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's a bigger problem. What is it, Baba Boohai?
You know what we were talking about last week? We were talking about how on the show there's a lot of product placement this season. We're talking like the first one was Mattel Toys, and tonight I think is Crest toothpaste. And Howard and I were trying to figure out what kind of money do you get out of those guys?
Tremendous money. You know, it's very interesting. The first Apprentice, again, nobody knew who it was, anything about it, so we didn't have that. We sold lemonade. We did a restaurant deal.
Right.
This time we have Pepsi Cola, we have Mattel, we have Toys R Us, we have Levi's, we have Crest toothpaste. Tonight, Procter & Gamble is launching a new toothpaste called Crest Vanilla Mint on our show.
Wow.
They paid a tremendous amount of money. You know, the only guy, and I'll say this, the only guy that wanted to be on Apprentice 1 was a man named George Steinbrenner. I called him up just before the Boston series.
Right.
Okay, the end of the year.
Yes.
The day before, I said, George, I'm doing the show. He said, what show? I said, The Apprentice. He said, all right. I said, lecture the kids on winning as a reward. He said, good, bring them over. I couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. NBC couldn't
Now
believe it.
Everybody wants to be.
Now I have the richest, biggest, most important people wanting to be on The Apprentice.
High-pitched character on the air. Yes, I should probably be on there.
Mr. Trump, good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Good morning, High Pitch.
Mr. Trump, you are the man. I love you. I want to know if I could do a guest appearance on the...
Oh, come on. Now you're
Even
being
High-Pitch
silly.
Eric wants to do the show.
That's unbelievable.
By the way, did Mr. Trump meet our intern, and was he impressed?
Your intern is very pretty.
Yeah, she wants you.
She was dying to meet you.
Dominic Barber, you're on the air.
Hello, Dominic.
Hello, Dominic. Well, he's gone.
Dominic loves you.
I love Dominic.
Yeah, he loves you. He loves you.
How did he do with the weight? He got the little operation. How did he do?
He's thinner. He looks like a helium balloon that they let out all the air.
Right.
And it's odd to see him walking around thin. He looks hungry.
Well, has it been successful?
Yes, he has lost the weight. He is thinner.
But he still looks like a fat guy.
Let me tell you about I've known Dominic a long time. Number one, he's a good attorney, a really good attorney, and he's also a good guy. Now he'll probably get on and kill me.
But he looks like a deflated beach ball.
That's too bad.
You have to see it.
Looks like all of his
Come on,
suits are
let's
too
find
big.
Dominic. Let's get Dominic.
Mr. Trump, it's always an honor to have you on. I'm fascinated with your success, your everything Trump. In fact, I even saw in the paper today you're launching a series of Donald Trump talking dolls.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I am?
You are.
See, he's even doing things he doesn't know.
Yes. And
I have a lot of good people to work for.
It even says 17 phrases, which includes "you're fired."
One of my problems with the show is that now these people won't disappear. One of my problems with reality shows is that the people never disappear once they go through a season.
Well, especially the Apprentice people. I mean, you look at Omarosa, you look at some of these people, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
They become stars.
They do. They do.
You know, we had over 1 million people apply for the second Apprentice. We had 215 for the first, which was a record. Now we had over 1 million, and we have unbelievable people in the show. But you know what happens? I think now they're applying not to work for me, they want to be stars.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's
true. I'm
true.
afraid at the end they'll say, we don't want the job. We want to make movies.
You can see Donald Trump on The Apprentice tonight at 9 o'clock on NBC. Very controversial show. You fired a guy last week after the guy said, I give up my immunity because I know I did a good job.
And you said, that's stupid.
And you say, hey, you're an idiot.
Well, he
You're
made
gone.
a mistake. I mean, he walked into the boardroom, he had total immunity. He said, I give up, as a, show of bravado, I give up my immunity. I give it up, Mr. Trump. My team is wonderful. I said to myself, he's gone.
Yep. Good call. All right, Donald Trump. Thank you for coming in here. It's always great seeing you, and I assume I'll be invited to your wedding.
The next wedding.
Well,
the next wedding.
I mean, we have to invite him.
You have to.
He didn't work.
You're going to go through that again?
No, I'm just going to have
He's a good luck charm.
No,
I would go.
Yeah, he's a great luck charm. I'm sure Melania is going to be thrilled. After hearing the story.
Believe me,
but no,
I
I'll
lit
have
up
a deal
the
with
wedding.
Howard. He's not allowed to talk to the press.
I lit up the last wedding. Trust me.
You made all the newscasts.
Yeah, I think Melania likes me.
The O.J. thing happened 1 week after the wedding. You know that, right?
Was it 1 week?
Yeah, it was very short period after the wedding that he was driving.
I remember that, yeah.
Right, because that's what we were saying.
One of the great scenes in television history was that white van driving down the freeway. With about 700 police cars in front of him, and he didn't look like he had a good chance.
That was the ultimate reality show.
That was the ultimate. That was the all-time.
Who was the biggest reality star, though, O.J. or Donald Trump?
O.J. still holds the record.
I'd give it to O.J. all day long.
Yeah, Chauncey, you're on the air quickly because Mr. Trump is very busy making money. Go ahead.
Yeah. I happen to know the football player that Donald Trump tried to set his daughter up with.
Who was it?
It would be Tom Brady of the New England Patriots.
Wow.
You want him doing your daughter?
Well, he's a great guy. First of all, I don't admit to that, Chauncey, but, he is a great guy.
Right.
He's a member of my golf club. He's a terrific
You would have
winner.
approved of him as a son-in-law.
I love
him as a son-in-law.
I mean, you look at this guy. First of all, he always throws the pass accurately. He always wins the Super Bowl. He always wins the game. He's the most handsome. I didn't hear that. He's the most
Would you let your daughter
handsome
date a black guy? Like, what if she brought home Dennis Rodman?
He's a blue blood.
What's your next question?
Ivanka Rodman.
Ivanka Rodman. Wow.
My daughter is very open-minded, I would say that. But
Beautiful girl.
I think Tom Brady's a fantastic guy, and, it's one of those.
All right, Dominic, what did you want?
Maybe he'll marry Tiffany.
Hello, Dominic.
Quickly, because I have to end the interview. Yes.
Quick two things. Number one, the best way to protect your prenup is do it on video.
That's true.
A guarantee. You videotape everyone's time. I do it all the time.
No,
35 years.
Donald.
Donald, do you do that? Will you videotape your
I think it's a good idea. I do video in other ways, but I don't do video necessarily for prenups.
I would put mine out on DVD, CD.
You do video in other ways.
No, you do a lot of video contracts nowadays. Where,
really?
But I don't think in terms of this so much with Melania, because like everybody else, I say it'll never happen. Nothing bad is going to happen, and I really believe that. But I think it's not a bad idea, Dominic. You're right.
I would put it on pay-per-view, so everyone could see.
That's right. I'm afraid the problem with me doing the video, I'm afraid somebody's going to get it, and they're going to broadcast it on ABC so that ABC can finally get some ratings.
That's right.
And finally, the way you talk a woman into a prenup is that a year before, when you sign a contract with a bank or any of your bank business dealings, you put into that contract that they require a prenup. Then when you sit with the fiancé, you say, wait a minute, I have no choice. Don't you see my business partners want it?
Do you do that, Mr. Trump?
Well, Dominic, let me ask you about this. What about giving them the prenup about 15 minutes before the wedding ceremony?
Absolutely not. I do a video. I've never had one open in 35 years. And Howard, I do not look like a deflated beach ball.
That's one man's opinion, that's all. All right, listen, that's Dominic Barber, but Donald Trump, continued success.
Thank you very much.
And we love having you on here. And I don't know who's more successful, you, Mark Cuban, but I know you're sexier than Mark Cuban.
Well,
and that's what counts.
That's
what counts.
But
absolutely.
That one is easy.
Yeah.
It's going to get vicious. People are going to try and imitate your success. You've got to be prepared for it. You've got to be prepared for it.
They are doing it.
Donald Trump, The Apprentice, tonight at 9 o'clock on NBC. We'll be back right after these words.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Units of plasma for plasma. Donate plasma. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward Your campaign of terror, murder, mayhem will not be tolerated any longer. It will not be allowed to go forward. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed, the leading woman's business. What the fuck?
By the way, sitting in our audience right now is Donald Trump, who wants to say hello to us. Mr. Trump.
Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. How are you? I know you're enjoying
Hello,
the
Robin.
How are you?
I wanted to thank you, Howard, for defending me against Branson, who died. He was dead on arrival, as you probably heard. His show bombed.
You know what? You're the greatest. I got to tell you
Why are you so competitive with these other
I'm just competitive, Robin, but you know, this guy goes around for a period of about a year. He's telling everybody how great I am. There's no way we want to compete with Donald. He's the great. And then all of a sudden, about a week ago, before his show started, he was saying, oh, we're going to beat the Apprentice. Trump's a bad guy. He won't shake hands and crap like that. So anyway, I waited because I didn't want to criticize him if he was successful.
Right.
You know, you never like to do that, Howard. You only like to pick on a guy when he's down.
Right.
So I waited, and the show bombed. It got lower ratings than Mark Cuban, and his show was taken off the air. And, you know, so they both bombed. So the two guys bombed.
Well, let's review. First of all, Donald Trump's TV show, The Apprentice, is a top-rated show, very successful.
Now hotter than ever, Howard, too.
And hotter than ever, as you say.
It is a franchise.
Yes.
It has turned out that, let's put it this way, Robin, NBC likes me very much.
Oh, I can imagine. I've heard.
Well, what do you mean? What do they do?
Well,
do they give you more money?
I mean, they've been very nice, but I'll bet they'll be a lot nicer.
Oh, really? You're getting more money?
Probably.
Again?
I'm like Howard, you know?
Right.
What's the next move after regular television? Do they have something in the satellite that I can
Satellite television.
I like that move you made, Howard.
USA Network.
I like it, too.
Yeah.
Believe me, and I'll be talking about it on Letterman Thursday night, but let's talk about you for a second.
But I love network television now, I have to say.
Absolutely. So you went on with The Apprentice, and then right away, which happens in television all the time, everyone said, let's grab a billionaire and put him on TV to copy Donald Trump.
That's right.
And in doing so, first of all, with Richard Branson, who came on my show, this is why you're great. I had him. He is a boring guy.
Oh, he's boring.
He said, oh.
Howard, he's a zero. You know, he's in. By the way, in England, you go to England, they think he's the worst. I mean, you know, they know him better. Hey, look, here's a guy spent his whole life pissing away a lot of money trying to circle the globe in a balloon. Now, I don't know why you want to do that. And he failed. He tried it like 7 times. He failed. And then some guy comes out of nowhere and does it. And that's the end of that, you know.
So you were saying in the paper, and you're saying here today, that here's a guy who spent his entire life working on getting around the world in a balloon. And as you say, I don't understand it. Why, if you got $1 billion, do you want to sit and go around in a balloon and risk your life?
Well, let me ask you this. Yeah. If you own an airline, how can you have $1 billion? Okay, let's face it.
Right.
You know, if you own an airline, you know it almost has to be sucking wind.
Right.
So how can a guy who owns an airline be a billionaire? So I don't believe he's a billionaire.
You don't?
No. I think he's a rebel, but he's not much of a rebel, Howard. He's not the kind of rebel that you dig, okay?
Right.
He's not exactly Neil Young, okay?
Right.
So this is a guy that owns an airline, and in my opinion, the airline can't be doing very well because no airline is doing well.
So when
let me ask you something. Do you believe, what do you think of his whole, going into space thing?
You know, Robin, honestly, you can have the guy. See, what I like is honesty. When a guy says nice things, and then a week before the show, somebody winds him up and said, you got to hit Trump so you can get some publicity.
Right.
And I was actually going to say nice things about him. I was going to say, hey, instead I'm sort of revealing the truth.
Right.
But I love when they come on and they hit you. And you know this feeling well, Howard, because you've had it all your life. They come on, and then they hit you, and then they bomb.
Right.
The guy had nobody watching. I'll tell you who beat him, the Gilmore Girls.
Right, on the WB.
Yeah, he was number 5, Robin, in his time slot.
But let me ask you something.
I didn't know there were 5 networks, actually, Howard, until I saw this.
Would you invest money in taking people in a rocket ship into space?
No, I personally wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Why?
No. Because I have no interest in doing that stuff. I mean, it's just not my thing.
And is it a money-making opportunity, really?
I can't imagine it, Howard. I would say if he does it, it probably isn't. But I can't imagine it.
So did you watch the show when it aired? Did you watch the show?
Well, I watched the first 17 minutes.
Right.
Where he had somebody, which I took a little bit of offense at. I'm 6'3". He had a guy who's about 5'2" get out of a limousine.
Right.
The guy's 5'2". He weighed about 300 pounds. He gets out of a limousine. And it's supposed to be like a takeoff on me.
Right.
He has this long stretch limousine. This is the very beginning of the first program. He has this long stretch limousine pull up, and he has this guy, this real creep, get out of the car, and it's supposed to be Donald Trump. I walk over, shake his hand, he says something.
Well, the point is, if he's doing his own show, why would he sit there and attack you? Let him do his own thing.
Well, and then they mention my name during the show. Like, they jump on some balloon.
Right. Now, why?
Think of it, who's going to hire people who want to sit down and have tea on top of a balloon?
Well, that's the point. I mean, you hire people in business based on their business ability. Why would you hire someone who's willing to get in a balloon?
Well, he really, it doesn't make any difference because the thing failed so badly. We're probably only helping him because I think he's only got about a week left.
Is that why the show
failed? It was supposed to be a 16-week deal. Based on the ratings that he's got going, they say, it's virtually impossible to keep it on the air. So we'll see what happens.
Did you send him a note saying, hey, you bombed, you ass?
No, I sent him a note much worse than that, actually. I said, you shouldn't use the word billionaire in your title because it's impossible. How is it possible to be a billionaire with, the airline business? I sent him a pretty tough note. If you want, I'll send you a copy of it.
Yes.
So you
but I sent Mark Cuban a note when he bombed. When he failed, he was another one he went after me, Howard.
Yes,
right, he did.
And he failed. He went after me. On your show, he went
That's
after
right,
me. That's right,
he did.
When he failed, I wrote him a note. Dear Mark, please contact me the next time you want to do television, and I will tell you that you have zero television persona, that you can't get ratings, and I feel so badly that you failed so badly, so et cetera, et cetera.
So you offered to help him.
Is your show successful where these guys fail because of your charisma, because people want to see Donald Trump?
It's only because of my looks out. No, I don't know. It's successful because, number one, we have a good show.
Right.
I will say this. Now The Apprentice is on in 88 different countries.
Wow.
It's number one in every country. Sadly, however, when we get the Donald Trump of Australia and the Donald Trump of these other countries to go on.
Oh, no, they're not using you?
No, they are using me.
Oh, okay.
They play the first one, but some of these countries don't speak English, Rob. It's a little bit tough. But it's virtually number one in every country where it is, 88 different countries, in England and Australia. Now, when they get somebody to play my role, because our deal with them, Mark Burnett and myself own the show,
Right.
50-50. So my deal with them and our deal with them is that they, after the first airing, which is a Trump airing,
right,
they then choose the Trump of Australia or the Trump of England.
Oh.
It's obviously not Branson. I have a feeling they're not going to choose Branson. Or the Trump of someplace, right?
Right.
Now, every time that's been done, the show is bombed immediately.
Of course.
So I would say that in one way, I'm extremely happy about that. In another way, I'd like to see it work, from that standpoint. But it seems to work with me, and it seems not to work with others, but we're going to find out about that.
All right, let's review. So the point is that Richard Branson, a supposed billionaire, went on TV. His show was flawed because he tests people by putting them up in balloons, which really has nothing to do with
And as
business.
Donald says, he has no charisma.
No, I think his show is flawed because of him. I mean, I think the guy is a zero.
He's boring.
He's a boring guy. He thinks he's cool, and he's not. There's nothing worse than somebody that thinks they're cool, and they're not. I mean, Richard doesn't have it. Go ahead.
Take a couple of phone calls. Yes, Ralph, go ahead.
First of all, that show was pretty much unwatchable. There was nothing on TV that night. I couldn't sit through it.
Thank you, Ralph. I had the same problem, Ralph.
Yeah, I watched the beginning, and it was kind of interesting, and then it just completely fell apart. I mean, it's just people jumping around on balloons. Who wants to see that? The reason Mr. Trump's show is so great, and it's probably the best show on TV right now, is they all sit around, and once they fail, they all blame each other like rats on a sinking ship. It's the greatest thing to watch.
Right. So there is a formula that works.
And it's him, too, and his staff. I mean, it's great to sit down and watch those guys evaluate why somebody failed. I mean,
right, because it's a real business.
Well, Ralph, I don't know who you are, but I love you, too.
I love you, Mr. Trump.
Thank
Great
you.
show.
And by the way, Ralph would like to glom off you, Mr. Trump, and go on your yachts.
Right, yeah, he'd like
anytime he wants.
Let me tell you something. Hey, Donald, this is Artie.
Hello, Artie.
I can't wait to see the show starring the Mexican Donald Trump. That's gonna...
Hey, Howard.
Howard,
I don't know if you heard this.
Yeah.
I was a little Artie fan because I'm a fan of the show, but, I got to tell you, at my roast, he stole the show. And I have to be honest with you, Artie stole. We had every comedian knocking the hell out of me for 2 hours, okay?
I heard...
Artie stole the show. And I tell you that, Artie, and you know what, Artie? If you didn't steal the show, I wouldn't say it. You know that.
You want to know something? This is really true. I heard from everyone that at the Donald Trump roast, Artie was the killer. Like just totally killed. And I don't know when that airs. When does it air?
I hope it doesn't air, Howard. I got brutalized.
Oh, I see.
No, my deal with them. The problem with the Friars roast, it used to be you do it,
and it was off bounds to the press.
Right.
Because, you know, they say a lot of things and they exaggerate, and they have a lot of fun with you, right? You know, they say things that are so bad, it's unbelievable.
Right,
so
you're a good sport.
The deal was, it was off bounds to the press, and that was fine. The problem is, it's not off bounds to the press. So here I am reading a front-page story in the New York Times about what Artie and other people said about me.
What is the worst thing you said, Artie, about Mr. Trump?
Oh, you know what? I don't even think I could repeat it.
You can't repeat what you said, Artie. It's so bad. I mean, you know, but they said things about me that are so bad. And the problem is, Howard, when Artie is saying it, you know he's a comedian. You see the smiles. You see the whole place laughing.
Right.
But when you read it in the New York Times, nobody knows that he's a comedian or saying it. So you end up looking like a jerk. But I'll tell you what's unfair about the fries roast. I told them this. It used to be off bounds to the press.
Right. You never knew what was said.
Right. You'd go in and it would be totally... I mean, today I walked into that show. I saw 500 people from the press standing there with cameras.
Yeah, and it was, you know what, Donald, there was definitely tape for something. There was like, you know.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And, you know, look, it was an honor. It was the 100th year. It was the biggest roast they ever had. It was Artie, you have to say, was that room packed?
It was packed. It was a major event, I'll tell you that.
So it was an honor, Howard. But, you know, it doesn't translate into the so-called legitimate press, if you call that legitimate.
Right. Yes, Chauncey, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Hi, two quick things. Donald, I love you, and I always believe that you're a very honest man. So please confirm or deny this story. That when you dine out, you only tip 18%, 20% if the service is exceptional. Whatever you tell me, I'll
Well, 20% isn't a bad tip, but I usually give more than that, Chauncey. You know, I would say I give 25 to 30%. Sometimes I give 100%. You know, it's a meal.
What would you tip on a $200 meal? What would you tip, Mr.?
I would give $30, $40 sometimes, depending on the waiter or waitress or whatever.
And that's because I know some people who have served you, and they've complained that you only...
I can't believe that, Chauncey, because if anything, I tip too much. I really give a lot of tip. Because it's irrelevant. Hey, Chauncey, if I give somebody $50, I would say I'd give $50 for 200, and I think that's good by any standard, Howard. Definitely. But generally, I would give more than 25%, and I've never been accused of that at all.
According to some people, I'm a better tipper than you, which is...
Well, that's always possible, but I give awfully good tips.
So
Donald, one last thing.
Chauncey, Donald Trump is saying that he refutes you and says that he does...
Chauncey says he has information that says you gave an 18% tip.
No, I would never... I don't think I've given... I really don't get bad service. You know the sad part is,
Howard,
I go to restaurants like you, Howard. I'm sure this happens with you.
Right.
I go to restaurants. No matter what restaurant I go to, they give me a free meal. And I say, you know, please, Mr. Trump, it's on me, it's on the house, no matter what restaurant I go to. Now,
really? I don't
that's only because when you're hot, and they give you free. Now, if I'm in the gutter and I go to a restaurant, I have to pay every penny, right?
That's right. I don't really get the free meal thing all that often.
I'm shocked.
All right, Chauncey, is that it, or you done with Donald Trump?
One final thing. Donald, would you challenge Branson to $1 million stake of Texas Hold'em live on the Howard Stern Show?
Well, you know, I've already beaten the guy so badly, and you know, my feeling is when you're up on somebody, why? And
Trump
poker,
won.
to a certain extent, although there is a poker sense, which I believe in strongly, but poker to a certain extent is luck, and I don't like to rely on luck.
You won already. You don't gamble, do you?
I don't gamble much. Well, I gamble with life, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But by the way, speaking of gambling, I called your show a couple of years ago, and people have said it's one of the top 5 moments in the history of Howard Stern.
That's true.
You had A.J. Benza sitting in the in your show. I didn't know he was there. I was calling to promote the Miss Universe pageant that I own.
Right.
And A.J. Benza sitting there, and he was angry because I had taken away his girlfriend or something. And
that was the best.
Now, somebody said that you rated that, because I heard about your Emmy deal today.
Yes.
Somebody said that you rated that a top 5 moment in the history of Howard Stern.
Absolutely. It was everything radio should be.
Well, I haven't heard it in a while. I'd love you to play it sometime today.
All right, I will try and do that. Mr. Trump, congratulations. You are bragging, and rightly so. You beat Richard Branson, who took you on. He said, I'm going to beat Donald Trump, and he didn't. And you have you really railed against him. You said that he is boring, ineffective,
and not a billionaire.
And he's a moron for riding around in a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't agree with you more.
You know, I knew the show was in trouble when he starts off driving a Jeep.
Yes.
Because he's supposed to be a man of the people, right? And they have this imposter, the Trump imposter, who really, if you were to see this guy, you wouldn't have believed it, all right? But they have the so-called Trump imposter come in a super stretch limousine.
By the way, I don't
have that. I only have a stretch limousine.
I don't know if you know it, but when we had Richard Branson on, Marianne from Brooklyn called up and yelled at him.
Hi, Mr. Trump. It's me, Marion
Lisa from Brooklyn, and I called him and told him, why are you copying Donald Trump? He's an innovator. He made the show. And Mr. Trump, I used to see your dad in Gargiulo's. And I love your family, and you have all of Trump Village in Brooklyn. And Donald Trump, you have the best show on TV.
Thank you, Marianne. Is Marianne available?
Yeah. Howard, I
would like
cannot wait
to
for
date
you to be
Marianne.
on Letterman, Howard. I am counting the minutes for you to go on David Letterman, Howard. I cannot wait.
Thank you.
I love you, Howard. All I need is Howard in my life. Let's get serious. Let me hear my Howard talk.
Thank you, Marianne.
Yeah, oddly enough, Marianne is available.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah. She does, yeah, but she actually looks pretty good.
She's not available, isn't she married?
No, she's married.
She's married, but believe me, she's available.
But you know what Donald was saying? He doesn't gamble. He did gamble twice, and he's about to gamble a third time.
What? Oh, with marriage. You still going through with that?
Well, you know, Howard, she's great. Just like you have a great one, and they know each other. But, you know, it's the old story. It's sort of interesting. I've had the best 5 years of my life. Really have. I mean, in business, in every way possible.
Right.
And to be honest with you, she's been with me for that 5-year period. And the answer is yes.
You are getting married.
What about you, Howard? No?
No, marriage is not for me.
Yeah.
I love my girlfriend, but I don't need to be married. I mean, what is it? I mean, unless you're going to have kids.
And she doesn't need to be married either. That's the key. You don't need to be married. I agree with that.
No.
But does she need to be married?
No, she doesn't care either.
Okay. Well, tell me that in 2 years.
Yeah, he's got 5 under his belt, and now look at him.
David, what's the problem? You're on the air with Donald Trump, and then Mr. Trump has to go to his very busy day. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. I love the show.
Yes.
I love it. My family were addicted to it. The problem that I'm having is that this past episode really pissed me off. There's no question in my mind that Chris pissed you off 2 episodes ago, and so therefore the activity that you picked, you made sure there was no chance he could win.
Well, you know, you have to understand that the fact is that in business you do have to rely a little bit on the past, too. And it was close between him and Ivana. Do you believe this, Howard? I have a contestant named Ivana. You think I got set up?
Yeah.
She might be the
of all the people, I have to have every time I look at her, I get, you get the shakes.
She's a pain in the ass.
She's the biggest pain in the ass.
And she is a pain in the ass, too. They picked one who's a real pain in the ass. Now, the original Ivana was, of course, not a pain in the ass.
Oh, please.
She was a lovely woman.
She was such a pain in the ass, but you can't say that.
No, she was actually very
You can have them compete in any activity whatsoever. You have 8 contestants, and you make sure that the activity that they have to sell is one of the participants' specific businesses. It's almost like someone sells fine cars, exotic cars, and that's the activity that you're going to give them. How do you use bridal salons when you have one of the participants who owns bridal salons?
Well, you know what happened? That was set up. It's a very good question, and that was set up long before we chose the participants, and then all of a sudden it turned out this participant was good at that. But if he were really the right guy, he would have fought her. Even if he lost, he might not have been fired. He gave up before. He said, I can't beat her. You have to admit this. He said, I can't beat her because she has too much experience with bridal salons.
That might be true, but unfortunately, if you look at the statistics, more often than not, the team that loses, the project manager is the one.
The project manager has not been doing well. Probably 75% of the time if they lose you. Hey, this guy really knows the show, Howard.
Yeah,
I love the show. But
you're going to love it even more because go ahead.
I could put up with a lot of this stuff. I like the ego. I love the fact that you don't do it anymore. In the first season, you used to talk about, I'm going to now show you the greatest mansion in the world, and all of a sudden we're seeing Mar-a-Lago.
But it is the greatest mansion.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is, I love the show.
That's great.
But I thought that Chris pissed you off so badly that you were going to make sure, no matter what, he was gone the next week, and that's in effect what you did.
Well, that's a good point because he did that's a very good point because he did badly the week before. But the fact is that he blew it because he gave up on this task. Now, interestingly, David, you know that your name is David, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interestingly, we started off selling lemonade, and nobody wanted any part of the show. You know, the only one that agreed to do in the first series was a guy named George Steinbrenner.
Right.
Who's a friend of mine, Howard.
Now everybody's on the show.
No, now we have General Motors just signed up. Everybody. We have.
What is it, Baba Booey?
The plugs are unbelievable. I got to tell you, I was going to ask them like how much they get. For instance, last week's show, right? The thing that they have to do is they have to open up a bridal salon for 4 hours, and who can sell the most dresses. So they start at Tavern on the Green. Welcome to Tavern on the Green, the finest restaurant in New York City where many weddings take place. And that's it. Tavern on the Green has nothing to do with it. Then the team that wins, and I can't remember the name, it's a really famous jeweler in New York. They win.
Graff.
They win $50,000.
It's called Graff Jewelers, and they paid dearly if that's what you're
And
at.
there's like a 6-minute.
How much do they pay? I mean, because
well, they paid a lot, but you know, they also, more importantly, they gave $50,000 to the contestants of Graff Jewelers. Now, you know, $50,000 at Graff buys you maybe a really poor set of cufflinks.
Right.
These people were trying on.
You know, when I said you're getting $50,000 to buy various, jewelry, their eyes opened up. But you know, when they got there, they said there's nothing for sale for $50,000.
How much jewelry do you buy your girlfriend?
Not much.
Fiance.
No, I'm not a big believer in that, Howard, because they have to love you for you.
Hey, what's with your son getting married? I saw that.
He's getting married, yeah.
Why are you letting him do that?
Boy. Well, he's marrying a good girl.
No,
so,
please.
so I'm out
like,
here.
we all have to make that mistake when we're young.
Well, it doesn't have to be a mistake, but usually it is, Rob.
I felt kind of bad for you. I read your daughter's dating a guy named Bingo.
She's dating a guy named Bingo.
What is a guy named Bingo?
I have a daughter who is so beautiful, Robin.
Right.
That she blows every, when you talk about the other girls that you talk about. I mean, this girl she was a tremendously successful model. Then she turned it off and went immediately to college.
Right.
She became a great student. She was always a great student, and she's great. So, yeah, she's got a boyfriend named Bingo.
What does Bingo do?
Bingo, I'm not sure he has to do anything, Robin.
Do you hate him?
He's a wasp from Bedminster.
Do you hate him?
No, I don't. I think he's a nice boy.
Tell the truth.
No, he's very nice.
That's not who you want.
He's very nice. Listen to you, Howard.
I know you.
How do you know what I want?
I don't hear you raving about Bingo.
So, anyway, Howard.
Oh, Bingo.
You know, there is some adversity in his life.
There's always nothing ever goes totally.
So does your boy have a prenup?
Well, he will have.
He will.
I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Whether he wants it or not, he will have a prenup.
Is it a rich broad he's marrying?
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah.
She's okay, but she's beautiful.
What does she do?
And she's really a good girl.
What does she do?
Do you like the family?
She was a model, and now she's a successful something. But I like the family. The family's good. Father's a lawyer.
I saw the picture of the girl in the paper. Very attractive.
Yes.
She's a great girl, actually. So I think he did very well.
But Howard, how rich is his son in the sense that, like, I don't know what he does for a living, and
his son works for him.
So does that mean, like, when he turns 21, Donald hands over a bunch of money?
Yeah, how are you going to work that?
You know, Howard, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've seen some tragedies, and I don't know how much time you have, but I mean, a friend of mine had 4 children. He was doing very, very well. He gave away, he was worth probably $60 million, so he wasn't like, worth like a lot of money.
Right.
60.
Right.
He gave each one of his 4 children $10 million apiece. That was in 1988.
Okay.
When the real estate depression happened, okay, he went to his children. He had a $70 million bank loan. He could have bought it out for $20 million. He went to his children. He said, kids, I love you very much. I'm going to need some of the money back to buy out the bank loan. They wouldn't do it.
Wow.
Oh. They wouldn't do it. And they said to him, Dad, we don't know what's going to happen to you. We're not sure. How many loans are there beyond this one? We're not giving you back any money. You gave it to us. You shouldn't ask for it back.
No.
He ended up surviving by the skin of his teeth because he's a smart guy.
Right.
And he survived. And I saw him the other day for the first time in 5 years. And I said to him, Jim, how are your children? He said, I don't have any children. They died.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Unbelievable, right?
Well, but wouldn't you be the same way?
No, my attitude is, when I go, I'm going to leave my children $6 billion. And, if that's not good enough, I mean, the only risk is, Howard, that
they kill you.
They kill you.
Right.
That's right.
Do you think your kids will
The only risk is they don't want, Howard, the only risk is they don't want you to be too healthy.
Well, yeah, or their spouses knock you off.
My attitude is, when you go, you leave it, and you have then you say, kids, have a lot of fun.
And along the way, you probably help them out here and there when you want to.
But honestly, hey, look, I have great kids, but that story had a huge impact on me because I saw it happening, and I couldn't believe what was happening. And this father was really, I thought the kids loved him and all, and they wouldn't give him anything.
Wow, they're monsters.
Donald, you do have at least your one son working for you.
Right.
So...
No, he does very well. He gets a beautiful salary, and he's doing a very good job. And someday,
you're buying all the kids' apartments.
I'll have all my kids will work for me eventually, and I think that's good. If they want to, if they like it.
Yeah.
By the way, if they don't like it, I don't want them to work for me because they won't be any good at it. But
I'll work for you.
Donald Jr. likes it.
Yes.
And I think that's great. But, my attitude is it's very complicated. It's very complicated also to give money away. You know that.
But you won't give Bingo a job.
We'll see what how that all works out.
But Howard, does Donald Jr. say like Donald?
Do you feel Bingo is sleeping with your daughter?
Well,
in that apartment you just bought her?
Yeah, I certainly hope in the apartment.
It's got to be.
I certainly hope that nobody's sleeping with my daughter because my daughter is not meant to be slept with.
I know, exactly. Well, at least she's not sleeping with me. Thank God for that.
Well, that's a minor relief, right?
Wouldn't it make you crazy? I mean, like, you got an apartment for her, and Bingo gets to go up there and bang your daughter. That's got to make you nuts.
Yeah, it's not Bango.
Yeah, I mean, Bango gets to go up to the apartment. I don't like it.
I don't even like to think about it.
All right, listen, Donald Trump bragging a little bit. Why not? I mean, he
show's amazing.
Show's doing well, and good for you. I'm proud of you, and congratulations.
Yeah, tell all these billionaires to watch out. It's not so easy.
Well, this probably kills the billionaire deal for about a year or two. You know what happens, Howard? They come at you in droves.
Right.
And then you kill them.
Right.
And then for about 2 years, you have a free period when nobody comes at you.
Yeah, they don't try it again.
No, they're not going to try this again. I mean, there's nobody out there that they're going to try again. And, these two guys failed badly. There's nobody out there that's going to happen for, I would say, probably we have a 2-year hiatus, and then they'll find some other rat in the corner, and we'll,
you have to bump him off, too. All right.
Howard, good luck with your new deal.
Thank you very much. I'm excited about it. I will talk about it Thursday night on Letterman. I hope you tune in.
I will be listening, Howard.
All right, thank you.
Have a good time.
There he is, Donald Trump, the #1 guy. The #1 billionaire. He's
the guy that made it work on TV.
I love it. I've read in the paper. He goes, who the hell goes up in a balloon? And he goes, and the guy tried 7 times, and then some other guy was able to do it. He couldn't even do it.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a billionaire. He gets beat by some guy who comes out of nowhere.
The balloon. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these words. More Emmys coming up.
Surprise, motherfucker.
No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. No, nobody has to have parental consent. And we will totally oppose the Biden administration. And let me begin by wishing you a beautiful, look, you remember this? Do you remember free health care for illegal, look. We inherit the legacy of thought. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
What the fuck? All right. It's a big finale tomorrow night of The Apprentice. Donald Trump joins us on the phone. It's a big deal. 3 hours, though, Donald. I mean,
can you believe that, Howard?
I mean, that's a lot to ask people, 3 hours.
They think I'm Howard Stern or something. 3 hours of live, so it's not something I'm looking forward to.
All live, ooh.
Yeah, much of it's live. Some of it's taped, from previous week.
Right.
But a lot of it's live, most of it's live, and it's a lot of live. Last year was 2 hours, and they had 41 million people. So they figured intelligently, let's go to 3 hours instead.
I mean, isn't that amazing? I mean, Donald Trump was always very famous, but people say, why is Donald Trump famous?
This is rock star kind of thing.
But this TV show has really captured the imagination of the people, and I don't know. It's weird that NBC now is banking an entire night on you.
Yeah, it's a bit amazing, actually, and not only an entire night, I guess. From what I learned in the last year, I knew nothing about television until about 12 months ago.
Now you know everything.
Now I know sort of if you ask me about the ratings, I talk about demographics, I talk about things I never even heard of before. But, not only is it the week, it's their Thursday night, which is their big night.
Right.
It's been amazing.
That's the money night.
I was watching on that Barbara Walters special, the 10 most amazing people or fascinating people. Intriguing people.
Right.
That was funny, man.
Well, it was wild.
It was wild. They had Donald Trump on, and then, of course, they bring in Melania to talk about marriage.
The Donald.
She looked nice. Didn't she look good on the show?
She looked amazing.
I wanted to lose. After watching that show, I immediately started losing 15 pounds.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I was shocked to see that all the people you invite to your wedding, you didn't invite me.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if you were invited yet, Howard.
Oh, really?
Because the invitations haven't even gone out, for the most part.
Oh, because in the press release it said... this one's going, that one's going, this one's being invited.
Oh, really?
We didn't put out a press release. Somebody got a hold of a list, and they put, names on, and hundreds of names. And you know what I did? I'm building this incredible ballroom at Mar-a-Lago. And it's one of the better things I've ever built. And, the first thing is the marriage always. but it is a way of highlighting the ballroom.
Right.
So it is going to be on TV.
No, the television networks want it, simply for one reason, Robin. The last wedding that was on television was Lady Di and Prince Charles. That didn't work out too well, right?
Well, listen,
Would you say that was a disastrous marriage?
Yes, it was.
That was a total catastrophe.
That's all right.
Now, everybody tells me, it's sort of interesting, everybody tells me that you play my tape with AJ as one of your 5 great moments in the history of the Howard Stern Show.
And that's true.
Do you consider it that?
Yes.
People love that tape. They always call me, could I have an AJ tape?
But get back to your wedding for a second.
Yes, I wanted to get off that subject.
Oh, you did? Well, here's the thing. I thought for a second, because I went to your last wedding.
You did. You really killed me on the last one.
I did, and I said your marriage would last 6 months.
Well, not only that, but you were wrong. It lasted 3 years. But, the killer was when I turned on you know the story. When I turned on television, you see, most people go back and immediately make love.
Right.
When I went back to the suite with Marla, I turned on the television to see the news reports, right?
Yeah, you'd already made love to her 1 million times.
Yeah, it was like, by that time I should have known better, right?
Yeah, you
didn't just forgotten it.
You didn't need a honeymoon.
Actually, she was a very, very nice person. It just wasn't for me. But what happened, unfortunately, I found that out a little bit late.
Yeah, you got to throw that in.
Very nice person.
What happened, I turned on the television, and there's Howard, Robin. Every station had Howard. I had everybody. I even had your very dear friend O.J. Simpson. Can you believe it? A month before he killed his wife.
Right. You drew
a month before he absolutely killed his wife. Without question, killed his wife. But there's Howard saying there wasn't a wet eye in the house. That killed me. You know what that was? And Marla was crying the whole evening. But Howard said there wasn't a wet eye in the house. I thought it was one of the great statements. And it's true. There was nobody that was crying.
Well, Howard came back and he said, you know what? Nobody knew Donald at this wedding.
Yeah.
It was a room full of people who didn't know each other or Donald.
That's true. We had every celebrity in the United States, but I didn't know any of them.
No, it was sad. There was a lot of, business guys who Donald does business with. But, you know what I mean? There was a lot of, tourist types. And I said, this is crazy. This is not an intimate moment.
Well, you said there were high rollers there from the casino.
There were.
But you have to say, though, Howard, you had a great time. I mean, you used the wedding in the back of your book.
Yeah, but there were a lot of high rollers from the casino and stuff, and I said, wait a second.
I don't think so.
I felt bad. I mean,
well, this one is different. This one is being handled with great style. Actually, I'm just showing up. Melania is handling this wedding.
Yes.
And I'm just showing up.
Now, it was funny, too, because I'm watching the special, and Donald's sitting there talking about, the reason he loves... Wait, I got to play the clip. You ready? Wait, let me play, because this is the best.
We got to play you for you.
You got to do this.
I got to play this, because I don't think you watched this one. You need to hear yourself, because this is getting crazy. Listen to me.
How do you know this one is the right one?
She understands me better than anybody's ever understood me.
Oh.
Well, it is true, Howard. It is true, but
Is that really true?
Hey, I've been with her almost now 6 years. I've been saying 5, but almost 6 years. And it's been the best 6 years. It's been the best years for business for me. I've never done better in business. I've never done better in anything, even the television show. I mean, I do this television show, and it turns out to be a monster. And, it's just been an amazing time. So
wait a second.
She's not a good luck charm.
Yeah, but how could she understand?
Well, there is something about, the woman behind the man and the man behind the woman. I really believe that. Hey, I've known friends of mine who were with certain women and they were very successful, right?
Right.
And then they ditched that woman for another one. And they became failures. And I'll tell you, take a look at Andre Agassi. I love Andre Agassi.
Right.
He's with Brooke Shields, who's a wonderful girl. He's with Brooke Shields. He goes to number 293 ranked, right?
Right.
He meets Steffi Graf. He goes to number 1. Now, you tell me that the woman stuff didn't have something to do with that.
All right, let's continue your conversation with Barbara Walters. Hold on.
She gives me my space. She knows when I come home, it's been wars all the time.
I'm not the person who is nagging and,
Now she's not.
yet.
Don.
Well, that is yet to be seen. We will see. I don't think so.
She doesn't nag
she's terrific, Howard. Well, you know Melania.
Well, one thing I like about her is she does keep quiet.
Right.
Like, you like to talk, and you like to be the center of attention, and she allows that.
Well, she doesn't speak English.
Yes, she does.
No, she speaks beautiful English, actually.
Although, I'm worried about the accent.
Very accented English, though.
Well, I guess I'm into the Eastern European stuff, You
really are.
I always have been.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, there's something about the European that does it for me.
I'll bet Ivana was quiet until you married her.
Yeah, That's true. That's scary.
Then she became a know-it-all.
That's a scary fact.
She's like, oh, Donald and I love the... And you know how that goes.
Well, you know what I always loved about you, Howard? You always stuck up when they were killing me, when the press was killing. You know, I always said, when you leave, you get killed. In other words, if you're the leaver...
Right.
You always get killed.
Yeah, everyone's angry with the guy when he has to leave. But
now, this moron ex-governor we had, Mario Cuomo.
Yes.
His son not only got dumped by the wife, but he goes out and says, I want her back, please help me, you know, this and that. When you, at least, and everyone feels sorry for him. You know, that's one way of doing it. I don't choose to do it that way.
Right.
When you leave, you get killed by the press. You know that.
Wait a minute, Donald, you had them skiing together on separate mountains.
Well, I thought I could get away with that, you know. You ever see how big the mountains are in Aspen? Who would ever believe, like these two little ants, were on mountains, different mountains, Robin, and
when you did that,
who would ever believe they get to see each other?
Well, people interview me about you all the time because they know I know
airborne cold remedy.
It actually works. You had your wife on one mountain, you had your mistress in the other.
Oh, that's too funny. And he's skiing back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it was. This is a story I've never told about that mountain, but it was sort of a horrible thing because it was up at this restaurant. There must have been 2,000 people having lunch. It was like about 12:30, and somehow I'm standing there putting on my skis, and I'm with one or the other. I didn't know who. And the other one comes over. And they start screaming at each other, I love him, don't you understand, and they're both screaming that I love him.
Right.
And this big, fat, bald guy is standing next to me. The guy weighs like 325 pounds. And I'm standing there mortified. Everybody's looking like 1,000 people are watching these two women screaming at each other. And this big, fat guy is looking at me, and he said, Mr. Trump, that's not the worst thing that could happen. I have never had a thing like that happen in my life.
Guy never had a date.
I mean, I see this guy and I say, you know what, maybe it could be worse. But that was a miserable day. Howard, that was truly one of my bad days in life.
But you're a smart guy. What made you think you could get away with that?
Well, mountains are very big, Howard.
Not big enough, evidently.
You know, they're very, very big. And this was a tough day, Howard.
But when something like that happens...
This was not a day that you want to happen.
When something like that happens to you, right?
Right.
Do you then go... Like all of a sudden...
Where do you go? Yeah.
The two of them are staring at you. Who do you go over?
They weren't staring, Howard. They were screaming at each other.
But then when the screaming's over, do you go back with your wife or do you go back with your girlfriend?
Well, that was a tough decision.
Because you know there's no future with the wife, so you might as well be with
Well, it was a tough... Let's put it this way. It was a very tough day in Trump land.
What did you do? Tell us.
I actually sort of went with some friends, and I'm not a drinker.
Right.
I don't believe in drinking, but that was the closest I ever came to having a drink.
What you do is you pick up another broad down at the lodge.
Well, that's the best way. You know, somebody said what you ought to do now is go for the good-looking one over in the corner.
Yeah.
And you've been absolutely faithful to Melania for the 5.5 years?
Of course.
Wow. Of course.
Evidently, the mountain was big enough for Melania.
Do you when something like that happens, do you immediately send them expensive gifts, or you just don't even do you get mad at them? That's a cool move.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? I actually got angry at them.
Yes.
How dare you embarrass me on the mountain like this in front of so many people? What I didn't know is you had all the paparazzi up there because somehow they knew about it. I don't know what the hell. I think I was the only one that didn't know that these two were on the mountain.
I'll bet eventually you trade her in for Lindsay Lohan, this Melania.
What do you think of Lindsay Lohan, Howard?
I think she's hot.
There's something there, right?
Yes.
But you have to like freckles. I've seen a close-up of her chest.
Yes.
And a lot of freckles. Are you into freckles?
I'm not into freckles, but you know the red hair thing I like. I like her on the cover of Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah, there's something cool about her.
A little Anne Margaret thing going on.
Her name is very cool too. It's a great name. You know, you need a name. I'll tell you what. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call him Bill Smith.
Go ahead.
Is he a movie star?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. He was born with one of the greatest names ever. You need the name. Lindsay Lohan's sort of a good name.
Yeah.
Now, does the father wreck? Does that bother you a little bit?
Well, I'm just thinking Howard Stern, man. I beat the odds with that name.
Yeah, but Howard...
No, you did beat the odds.
Yes.
You really beat the odds.
Howard feels that the father being a wreck is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah, because, first of all, if the father's a wreck, like the way he is...
Right.
You imagine the sex with this troubled
Yeah,
teen?
you're probably right. She's probably deeply troubled and therefore great in bed.
Back in the day...
How come the deeply troubled women,
Yes.
deeply, deeply troubled,
Right.
they're always the best in bed?
Because they're looking for love, they're looking for positive affirmation, they're looking for a father figure who will love them and tell them they're wonderful, and they'll never be enough. No matter how many times you tell them they're beautiful, no matter how many times you tell them you love them, they want to suck it up more. They would drain you like a vampire until your head caved in if they could get more love.
Well, I have a friend, Howard, who's actually like a great playboy. I mean, he really is. I don't say this about me. This guy does very well.
What's the guy's name?
I can't tell you. He's very, he's silent.
He's married.
He runs silent, runs deep, as the expression is. And like a submarine.
Right.
And Howard, he will only look for a crazy woman. He says, Donald, please, I only want a crazy woman.
Right.
Okay?
The desperate.
I'm saying, what is this guy all about? But if for some reason what I said is true. I mean, they're just unbelievable.
I can tell from the...
You don't want to be with them for the long term, but for the short term, there's nothing like it.
I can tell from the impression who it is, Roberto Duran.
That's very good. And he was good on my show. I tell you what, that Friars Club, that Artie was the star, Howard.
Yeah, he was the star.
That crazy guy was the star.
I'll tell you who's looking good. And I hate to say this to you.
Who?
I always thought your daughter was hot, but I saw some recent pictures. Maron.
You know that Ivanka was always the most beautiful of all the girls, and she was always the smartest. I mean, she was, like this great A student at the Wharton School of Finance, which is the best business school in the world. And
I should have done her.
And she only went, that would have made me feel great.
I should have done it.
That would have made me feel great if she came home and said, I'm in love with Howard Stern.
Oh, my God.
There's still time, Howard.
You know what? It's true. You have no idea what that does to a parent. When I met my girlfriend, she called her mother the next day and said, I met the most wonderful man. She tells me this. I met the most wonderful man. And her mother goes, who? And he goes, and he's well known. She goes, really? Is it, I forget who she said, is it, Leonardo DiCaprio?
Colin Farrell?
The Colin Farrell? She goes, Howard Stern. Her mother hung up on her.
That is funny.
She talked to her for 3 days.
Click. That is funny. Well, I got to know Beth, and Beth you've got a winner. How's she doing, all right?
She's doing great.
That's good.
And you met Melania's parents?
I met Melania's parents.
Did they hang up the phone, or they were happy?
Well, her father wasn't feeling that well for a little while, right? And I said, well, what's wrong? And she looks, she says, well, he's 59 years old. And I'm saying, oh, that's terrible. He's
an old guy.
So, it's like one of those things. Her parents are great.
And
they're really nice people.
And you and Melania are still making love as often? I mean,
yes.
This marriage thing concerns me.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question. How come I always get myself in trouble on the show, Robin?
Be honest.
What is wrong with you?
Be honest. You know that once you get married, you lose interest. I know that about you. And I don't know, how many times, like when you first...
Well, I don't know. I love the marriage thing. I mean, marriage is, really great. I just like it. I think it's good. I don't know if it's security or whatever it is, but I think it's good. If it works. I mean, if it doesn't work, it's a total catastrophe. It usually doesn't work.
But here's the thing. When you first met Melania, you were probably making love to her at least once a day. At least.
Probably right.
That's right. And now, I would guess, now I don't know for sure, I'm going to say you're down to 2 times a week, if that.
Howard.
And I'm going to tell you something, and I've been thinking about this.
You've been thinking about it?
Yes, for him, because he's getting married. As the sex life diminishes, a guy starts to go, it's okay because I'm satisfied and I can concentrate on work, and you start to rationalize. And then it happens.
What?
You want that heat. You want that sexiness. You want that every night hot affair.
Let me ask Donald something, because this is something I've heard that happens. Once you get engaged, the sex heats up again.
Oh, yeah? Did that happen?
I don't know.
How don't you know?
But, I'll tell you, Howard, what I will say is this. When you go on television, like, for instance, I had this guy Mark Cuban on, and he failed.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't imagine.
So it did horribly.
Oh, he failed terribly.
Terribly.
He had, you know what he drew?
An embarrassing failure.
Yeah, he drew flies.
Right.
Then you had Branson. Then you had Branson go on, this idiot from England.
No personality.
Branson might have been...
Well, he's got the worst. I mean, the guy was the worst. And he goes on, and they all want to be like the imitations, right? The clones. So they go on, they fail. Now, as you know, my show is #1 in every single major category.
That's right.
It's the hottest show on television. So as Harvey, I have so many different friends, but movie people. the people from Miramax, they all say, Donald, you know you're the biggest star.
Right.
So I said, excuse me, you know, I'm negotiating a concrete contract with somebody, right?
Right.
And I'm hearing on one case I'm a star, in the other case I'm dealing with this, like, mob-influenced concrete company. So, you know, I sort of like the star stuff better. No, actually, I like the real estate stuff better, but that's
Wait
okay.
a second. What
but
happened?
wait, Howard.
Yes.
So what happens is, but, you know, whether we like it or not, you have the hottest show, and you're the star of the show, so you're a star, I guess, right?
Right.
So women come up, the most beautiful women you've ever seen.
Right.
Now, the good news, I own the Miss Universe pageant, so I get used to good-looking women. But the most beautiful women, I go out to do Jay Leno's show.
Right.
And women come up to me, gorgeous actresses, well-known actresses, and they look at me and they say, I had no idea how handsome you were. You are really beautiful.
They want you.
And then you know they're full of crap when they say, and your hair is absolutely beautiful.
There you go.
Okay. See, when they start...
Hey, take it easy there, Donald. We're not at that other place yet.
That's right. So, that's right.
Right.
So what happens is I go through this, and I have hundreds and hundreds of people coming up to me. And I've really been a good boy. I have to be honest with you, Howard.
Now, let me ask you this. When that happens to you and a chick comes on to you, which happens, do you report it to Melania? Because I know that if you do, it gets them hot again.
It keeps her excited.
I really don't. And you know what happens, and this, of course, has never happened to me, but 100 come on to you, right? And you turn them all down. Then the 101st comes on to you, and you say, okay, you did it, right?
Right.
And then you get a divorce.
Right.
Right.
Okay? In other words, you were a good boy for 100.
Right.
And then the chemicals kick in, you know, the wrong chemicals, those crazy chemicals where you go through walls, right?
Yes.
Where you go through buildings.
Yes.
Where you do things that are, like, inappropriate, like, you know, skiing on mountains with two different women.
Right.
Okay, so those chemicals kick in that you have absolutely no control over, and you're bad, and what happens, you break up or you get a divorce with somebody. So, you know, it's a tough situation.
That's
But
right.
no, I've been very good, Howard. I really behaved myself.
No kidding.
Not easy.
But you know you become more tempting the more you're locked up.
Well, maybe. I mean, you know, there are those that say that you're more attractive after you get married.
So what are you down to?
You know,
so what are you down to? So you're down to 2 times a week now?
Well, I don't want to say, but it's very good. But here's the thing.
Very good.
No, I'm
Robin, what Robin's saying is right. There are women that find you more attractive when you're married.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a whole sexual deal that who knows what the hell that's about.
What if Melania gets fat? Would you divorce her?
Absolutely not. No, she can get fat. I like a woman that's a little chubby.
No, you don't.
I do.
That's not true.
No, I don't like skinny stuff. I like, you know, like if she gained 10 or 15 pounds, I'd love it.
All right, if Melania got in a car accident and lost her hand, would you stay married to her?
I got a better one.
Would you stay married to her?
Absolutely, Howard.
That dioxin guy over in the Ukraine. If she got a hold of some dioxin and her face blew up like that.
I don't know. Boy, what happened to that guy? You know, I was looking at him like a year ago. He was sort of a good-looking guy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I turned on the television the other night. I see him. I say, wow, he's got a problem.
Yeah, he does.
Of course, they tried to poison him. You know, they don't play games over there, Howard. This isn't like, you know, we think New York politics is rough because somebody raises their voice. Over there, they
That's right.
They poison the guy.
So over there, you get in your airplane and you don't know whether or not you're ever landing.
You're damn right. Donald Trump, watch the 3-hour season finale of The Apprentice tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on NBC. My daughter called me. She goes, I got to see that. I want to be in the audience for that.
Oh.
She never asked me for anything.
Wow.
And I said, all right. So I called over. She's going to be sitting in the audience. She's like out of her mind.
Which one?
Emily.
Is your daughter going to be in the audience?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be at Lincoln Center this year.
Yeah.
Last year we had it in the studios of Saturday Night Live, and they had like 400 seats, and the tickets were going for $10,000 a piece.
Wow.
They were being scalped for $10,000. So this year we went to Lincoln Center, and it's still, you can't get a ticket. I've got everybody calling me, driving me crazy trying to get a ticket. It's at Lincoln Center, and actually next year we'll probably end up going, you won't believe this, for next season. They're thinking about Radio City Music Hall for the final.
Wow.
But we're at Lincoln Center, and the tickets are the hottest tickets in the country. You can't get a ticket. Now, if your daughter doesn't have a ticket, you'll have to let me know. But she's got a ticket?
She got a ticket. I had a beg borrow.
So why don't you and Robin go tonight? Why don't you bring, tomorrow night, why don't you bring Beth?
Because I got to work.
So what, Howard? What difference? You get so much money now.
It doesn't matter.
This new deal is unbelievable.
I could slack off.
Hey, Robin, I'm thinking about going into the radio business. This new deal is unbelievable. You know, there was a story, I sent it to you, the next Howard Stern. That Donald Trump is the next Howard Stern.
I couldn't even compete. Joanne, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Donald.
Hello, Joanne.
Listen, I want to be refreshing and honest. Your hair is disgusting.
Oh.
But I am attracted.
What is it? It's disgustingly what?
She doesn't find you attractive.
Yeah, but I do find this bank account very attractive. Would you like to do me, Donald?
Oh, it's a man.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
That's terrible.
This could only happen on your show.
I know.
No, that really does gross us. Oh, that's gross.
He's not going there.
Right.
There are a couple of things I wanted to ask Donald about. I know you're going to say, of course, you took the free wedding band. But
look, I got more heat over this thing. I have all these diamond companies, they come to me, all the best ones, and they throw diamonds in my face like I'm a dog, right?
Right.
They throw them in my face. Millions of dollars, diamonds, throw them in my face. Guess what? I'm a good businessman. I take them. And then I get killed in the press for taking the diamonds. Who the hell wouldn't? They throw millions of dollars worth of diamonds. In fact, I'm thinking about giving Melania 10 different rings.
But it's like they're marrying her.
No, it's very unfair.
So, in other words, they say to you, take the ring for free because it'll be publicized.
They just want the publicity.
I see. So whose ring did you end up going
I don't know. It's depending on which one. I'm getting up in the camera.
You're still thinking about it?
I'm negotiating for the most expensive one.
And your point is that anyone who was offered a free diamond would take it.
Why not?
But you don't make that your wedding band.
No, but Robin, I can't pay. I want to pay, and they won't let me. Please, this is a token of our affection.
Well, listen, good luck with the 3-hour season finale. Not like you need it. Everyone's going to be tuned in.
Well, thank you, Howard.
The Apprentice is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on NBC, and I'll be waiting for my invitation. Now, where is the wedding going to be? Down in Mar-a-Lago?
It's going to be in Florida, in Palm Beach, at Mar-a-Lago, and it'll be terrific.
And then when I go, what do? You put me up there?
I don't know. We'll work that out. That's not going to be tough.
Where am I going to stay? At Mar-a-Lago?
You'll stay at Mar-a-Lago. You'll stay anywhere you want, but you'll stay at the best place to stay in Florida is the Mar-a-Lago Club.
Does Robin have a shot at being invited to the wedding?
I was going to say, I really want to be there.
Would you actually go all the way to Florida, Robin?
Absolutely.
You know, the one thing about this wedding, Howard, I've got more people calling me about this wedding.
It's not necessary.
People I haven't heard of for like 10 years. Celebrities saying, one of them called up, a big celebrity. Donald, now I didn't even think about inviting him. Very big. He said, I'm providing the chef for the wedding.
Wow.
I said, what? I want to give you the greatest pastry chef in America. I'm providing him for the wedding. Now, I'm saying to myself, he's providing me with a chef, and I'm not even inviting the guy to the wedding, right?
Right.
So what he's really doing is giving me a chef, which cost him a couple of bucks, right?
Yeah.
Giving me a chef because he wants to get tickets to the wedding. So, I mean, I've had more people calling, and many of them are embarrassed. You know, they get on the phone, they say, I don't know how to say this. Please invite us. They never say for them. They always say for their husband, who's been a great friend of mine, somebody I haven't spoken to in like 15 years.
Right.
But I have a real problem with that wedding in terms of people wanting to go.
Right.
I know. How many people you think are going to be there?
Well, I wanted to keep it down to 400.
Wow.
It's going to be a zoo.
But it's going to be a madhouse. And, they all, this, Howard, the networks all want it to be live.
Yeah.
So why don't you do it?
I'm thinking about it. Why not? I mean,
I don't think I would go if it's on TV.
Really?
Yeah. Why? Because you're so shy?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be a part of it. I mean, I feel like a jerk.
Show.
I don't like it. It cheapens the wedding.
You wouldn't want that.
No, it does, though, Howard.
No, it does. I'm telling you, I think it's some things got to be private.
That's what I'm saying. This should be a personal thing.
I'd like it. I tell you what, I thought the most beautiful wedding, seriously, was Lady Di walking down the deal. And here's Prince Charles walking into this incredible cathedral. Because, say what you want about the English. Nobody does pomp and circumstance like the English. Right. Nobody.
Where's Melania now?
She's in bed.
Wearing what?
Very little.
Wow, huh?
Yeah, very little. But
wow.
Lady Di walking down... Howard,
she must be good in bed. Like, I don't even know if she's going to marry you. I mean, you could have any chick, so... She must be doing tricks. God knows what she's doing.
What is she doing?
Well, she is good, and she's a good girl.
Favorite position with Melania, and then I'll let you go.
Favorite position?
Yes.
Normal. I'm a very normal guy.
All right. There you go.
I'm not into the kinky stuff. I'm like a really straight, normal guy.
And you never tie her up?
No, I'm not into that stuff. I'm not into, beating her brains. I have friends, Donald, it was so incredible. I hit her. I pounded on her. I'm saying, what kind of an animal is this?
You're not choking her.
I'm not into beating people up.
You never pull her hair?
I don't pull her hair.
You don't choke her?
No.
Have you ever spanked her?
I'm not into choking.
Have you ever spanked her?
Well, if I did, it's very lightly.
All right, all right. Hey, Donald Trump.
That's not my thing.
Watch the 3-hour season finale of The Apprentice tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on NBC. Don't miss it.
Thanks a lot, Howard. Thanks, Robin.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you, Howard.
Yes.
He does make them call him Mr. Trump on the TV show.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I think they
get people to do it, do it.
Yeah, they do that anyway.
Right. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
milkcratemarauder is the shit.
I am not fucking impressed. Stick your show in your ass.
Venmo at milkcratemarauder. Cash.App $milkcratemarauder.
Come on. You're gonna fight with
Milk Crate.
He wants his money. Give him his money and let us just get the fuck out of here.
Hey, fuck him. Fuck him in the ear. What are you talking about? Fuck him in the other ear, that son of a bitch. Did I ever bust his balls? Did I? I could have dropped the dime a million times.
Come on.
Then I wouldn't have to pay
One more,
tips.
call the cops. You're talking crazy. Stop it now, will you?
Listen, you got money for that fucking commercial of yours. Fucking commercial. You don't got my money? You don't got my fucking money? Huh?
Jimmy, he's gonna pay.
Fucking kid, you can pay the money. Jimmy, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should be sorry. Don't fucking do it again and give me the money. You understand? Give me the fucking money. You hear me? You hear me? I gotta come here and bust my balls. Give me the fucking money. I'll give you. Hello? You got it, kid. Believe me. Fucking money. Jimmy, I'll pay you.
You motherfuckers have the money to implement these things. I do not. There are people unnamed in high echelon positions that I could call at this moment to nullify the fucking satellite radio industry. Truck drivers, housewives, children, the people all across the country.
And God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, okay, well that's cool.